Hello, comrades. It's Premier Rever here. I'm looking down at the new city of Neuve Revergrad, even though I think that's redundant if you understood what Neuve means. In any event, this is going to be episode 79 and a half. So it's obviously going to be a live stream. I will try to make an announcement in episode 80 that you can go back and watch the construction that we're going to get done. And I intend to do this in such a way that, obviously, hopefully we'll have some people to interact. It's a strange time for me to do a live stream. But at the same time, hopefully it'll be good for the people that want to just watch the construction. Anybody's welcome to watch it. I want to just kind of do what I would normally do when I say, oh, I built things off camera, right? So I'm not going to worry overly much about how how things go as far as like what I would do in a normal episode where I try to keep screens closed. For example, one of the things I like to do is like open up each of these construction offices. Oops. Let's get the right clicking going. And we don't need these mechanisms open. And just make sure they each have a thing. So Food Factory's construction office. Now we have this other one down here, and I definitely want to let's go over to these guys next. I usually put them like kind of in some order so I know which way we're going around. Now, I'm not quite sure what's going on with my little preview screen here. It just sits there spinning, even though I think you guys are able to watch it. I don't really know. Let's hit F5 here. And I can go over to another screen, but I want to confirm. Oh, what? Yeah, no, my microphone is on, so that's good. Okay, very good. So nobody's chatted anything at this point. I think it's live. I could probably, let me just 1 second unmute it. My little preview screen. Yep. There we go. So it's muted again, so you don't have to hear me twice. But there we go. All right, so good. I know that I'm actually recording or streaming, and there is sound, and I just did that same thing again. So let's open up each of our active offices. I just want to go around before I play time and just make sure everybody has a job, get these offices open. And welcome to the stream. I can see a couple people seem to have entered. Yeah, good, they have something to do. And we'll cut over to here. Yeah, Hegiodal. Yep, good. We left them in pretty good shape. That's right, we paused at the end of our steel episode. And then once we get just everybody moving and time rolling, what I usually do is, so if they have one, this is another one. Good. Everybody seems to have a job to do. And I think that's it, right? Now, what I want to do in this is probably get, we have a few more constructions. So I really want to get everybody, like we have a construction office over here, but I don't know, having built that, I'm sure it'll come in handy one day, but I'm not so sure it's going to be handy right now. So there's nobody down there, nobody here anymore. Yeah, so okay. All right, so let's just check on our rail. Look at this, 99.8 or 98 done on the, finally, we'll have one of these. Gosh, it took a long time to get these tunnels built. Might certainly have been worth building a rail construction office a little bit closer. This one, which is much closer from here to here, got done their construction project pretty quickly. Now I notice we have 3 railway cranes here. I thought I sent that up to here. So we have 3 in here as well. It's an odd number, but we have 4 assigned. So let's see, can we tell which one of these? All right, they have no speed. No speed. No, so we can't tell. Now, none of these are jammed up, right? Now, we have some of each of the stuff. Let's go see where, close that guy. Okay, this guy's in the shop. Ah, okay. That's not so good. And they're just causing a complete, see, this is exactly why I pause things when I go and do all that designing, because we just have a complete jam up. So probably the easiest way to end this jam up Yeah, somebody doesn't have a... The problem is that somebody doesn't have a... Now, this train probably can come out of here even if this guy does have a chain signal. So let's just go into the rails for the moment, and we're just going to delete this chain signal. Yeah, let's play time forward. And as soon as he's past that, we'll put our chain signal back in. All right, now why are we red? Oh, because that guy, okay, good enough. As long as people are getting out of town. Now, do these guys both have, yeah, they have rail signals coming in. So what's happened is the train was coming back from doing construction. Boy, that guy shot forward, didn't he? And he got jammed up here. There's not too much we can do other than keep an eye on it, I don't think. You know, because these guys can come out whenever the heck they want. And normally, it's because it just caught them right in that stretch. All right, so let's see. Can we... So this guy's moving. Yeah, so why are... look at this. Now we have this problem going on. No workers. Well, no workers. So you might go back out. Depends on what you're working on. So we kind of have to wait for them to come back out. But is this whole mess... Yeah, look at that mess. All right, well, we'll stay down here for a minute and get this going. Like we know, that's why we kind of did this before we got going there. So if you guys have any input, whoever's listening or watching, you know, feel free to let me know what you think. Like I said, I'm not promising the most entertaining hours, but we're going to get some construction done one way or the other. Good. Now we got... And why isn't... Oh, that guy's not going to go until he's past that signal. Good. All right, so now... Yeah, and see, we don't have any workers because they all got stopped up here. Okay, fair enough. And these guys probably lost all their workers, so it's going to take us a while if these workers go over like 4 hours travel time. All right, so let's just take this... And I think we got it straightened out, right? We at least got rid of the traffic jam. It's just going to be a little while before another bus gets here. But good. So we should be in decent shape on that one. And then the other rail... Yeah, we were going to transfer a vehicle. Well, we can probably do that, right? Yeah, let's just take one that's not being used right now. And put him down here. Even though that'll probably lead to a cluster in this one. So now let's shrink this back up and we can check on him in a minute. Yeah, we'll have 4 trains in here for 4 jobs. Hopefully, yeah, this is a bit of a mess. All right, there we go. So now part of the problem that I would like to solve early on this Sunday morning. Oh, I haven't done anything since the last episode ended, but I did come in and show where we're going to need to attach tracks to get in here. So this is going to be like where the iron comes in and out. This is going to be where the coal comes in and out. And this is where the people for the coal is going to come in and out. And I think one of the other things I did between like the 2 episodes, or, you know, this half episode, is I finished this loop. So we have like a double loop where we have the train can come down in here, go around, and then come back out, right? Or it can come on this track, come down here, loop up to here, loop around, and then come back onto this track. And then we've got an overpass that jumps over these tracks so we don't end up with any traffic jams, right? Like none of these tracks cross each other. Like the different loops. So in other words, the coal loop is completely separate from the iron loop, is completely separate from the people loop. But what I do want to do is let's see how busy we can keep people, right? Like some of the problem is without this steel built, there's only so much point in going fast, right? Because we're just going to run out of steel here. Now we have another little Is that because somebody's... Yeah, okay. Get off the track. Yeah, this is really extremely inefficient. And one of these days we're gonna get this guy to come down here, like probably break it off here, go across the road, and then they're just gonna come in and out in their own fashion. You know, I'm gonna build a track that goes around this way and comes back out. So instead of, they're just not gonna come down here. You know, they're gonna get off faster. But yeah, well, that's for like a future thing. All right, so anyway, what are we going to do? So we should be getting these guys out into here, right? Now, is there a reason? There goes another one, good. Yeah, and okay, we don't have much steel. Why do we have so little steel? Load, unload, wait till unloaded. So we don't have much steel because... Alright, well hopefully we'll start using up from prefab panels there. Add some bricks. Have to keep an eye on that too. And then how are we doing down here? We are... Yeah, are both of them out and about working? They should be working over here somewhere. Yep, there they are. Good. Okay, so the one's still doing that bridge. The other one's down over into here. How's our construction offices doing? They look semi-busy. Maybe not so much. That would be this guy. Yeah, he only has one road to do. Yeah, and I can't do another road. He's a road paving kind of crew. He's the one that I think I'm going to move. Like, while this guy stays to build like this different stuff. So we'll get this guy to stay until he builds this road. Other than that, Brzezinsk North is kind of done with all the roads over here. We got our trains coming in. Now, not too long ago, Radomir just gave me a comment that said, you know, build and, you know, distribute your bitumen and fuel better. An absolutely good idea. You know, when it comes to our concrete making here, we didn't have the cement silo before. So what I'm debating doing is maybe moving these, or at least one of them. So we're going to get rid of all of this and replace it with this. So it might not be a bad idea to come in here and like if we got rid of this one, we could put a tank where this is. I don't know. We'll have to see. We can design it later, right? But we can get rid of all of this stuff and then somehow take advantage of the train. You know, the train is dropping off gravel here, which is good. But do we get a train that comes in here to drop off fuel and or bitumen into tanks over here? Right, but all of that's a little bit of a future concern for today. And this episode's not about designing things. It's about thinking about designing things and just trying to keep everybody... If everybody here is busy working and the rail guys are busy for 3 hours, that'll be good. And the reason for 3 hours is it's a little bit after 8 my time. And by 11 o'clock, I'll be warming up for lunch, and that'll be enough talking for one morning. And then in addition to that, I haven't made tomorrow's episode, right? So I want to get this done, and then I'll do tomorrow's episode. So depending on how well we do, we will be doing tomorrow's episode not right after this, but sometime this afternoon. So that'll be plenty of workers' resources in the Soviet Republic in one day. All right, so how are we doing over here? Yeah, we're looking pretty good. We just need to get people up here. Yeah, I need to get these roads paved. Now, what are you working on? The bus platform and the unfinished road. And that's because we want to get this firehouse going. Kind of ASAP. I don't know how well we'll be able to bus people over there, but we're going to... If we got a spare bus laying around especially, we'll give it a shot just to see if we can't get a few employees to that firehouse. And then the other thing that I really want to think about, and I really want to do it from this construction office, is, well, I want to be able to do it from both construction offices, but I want to be able to get the rails in here, right? So this may be the one design thing that we end up doing. Now at this point, you know, these guys are all busy. So we're not going to do things as far as, like, we're going to save the designing for the regular episode unless it's, like, really, really inconvenient to us. You know, to, like, in other words, if people are going to sit around for the next 2 hours doing nothing, then I would keep designing. But I really want to get these rails done really even before I worry about other things. Because this guy, has he done these? This is what this whole live stream's going to be. Me zooming around. Hey, look at that. Dun, dun, dun. I don't have my drum roll ready, but there we go. We are through on the one tunnel. Boy, look, in the other tunnel so close to done, you can't hardly see how far it is. So let's take a look at this. 99.8. So why are you're just not going, or are you hung up over here or something? No, but let's make sure now that they're through there, let's make sure we don't have signaling crossing. Yeah, see, this should all be pretty good. Do we have signals? Yeah, I'm going to put some signals like here, just to make sure that this doesn't have redness on it when they get in there, if that makes sense. Yeah, well, we'll just put them right there. So I don't think we cross anywhere in here. But let's go back. Do we have a train in there at all? No, see, we only have a red signal here, so that's good. We don't have two reds, so if the other train tries to come in here, it should be able to. So is there a train in here working? Yeah, here it is. Yep, he's in there working. So whenever he gets... Oh, is he... No, he's not done, or else I couldn't have clicked on it. He's just... Yeah, he's going to get done in a second. So that's good. So we'll get this stretch done, which means we'll let that, you know, rail station that, you know, work on this track all the way up to here. They can just keep plugging away. And then we'll get these guys to get in here and get this done. In the meantime, you know, they got 4 workers here, 4 rail things. So we'll have them working on these 2 bridges. Now, let's see. Let's go put on our wireframe. Well, let's start at the beginning. Are these guys going to get done in 3 hours? They're definitely going to get done this stretch in 3 hours. And is there any reason for trains? See, there's no long-term reason for trains to come down this way. So what I'm thinking of is we get, even though it's like a long haul, when these guys get done these train tracks, right? We'll set them to come over to here and work on these. The problem is right now, there's no way for them to get in there. Right, so we need a way to get trains in here. You know what, we can always pause it at some point if we need to even pause it. And like I said, I really want to avoid doing any designing during this live stream. Oh, happy Father's Day, Steve. I wasn't seeing many chats, so I stopped looking over there, but yes. How are you doing this morning? And welcome. We are plugging away, making episode 79 and a half. So for those of you that like seeing the construction happen, or heck, just want to chat for a few minutes, it's all good. So I'm not sure how long you were watching, but just trying to debate, you know, getting in here and getting things built. I don't want to do much designing that we don't have to do. And this is, you know, I'm just trying to do what I would do normally. Though I'm really getting tempted to build these railroads. Like, in other words, this is our coal line coming out of here. You know, I'm getting really kind of tempted to do that. And then we're going to have an iron line coming out of here, in and out. I added these after the last episode, which you may not have even had a chance to watch yet. I realize this is all coming kind of quick. It would be pretty quick on your part to have already watched episode 79. And then this is going to be our people moving line, which, you know, again, even if we just did it temporary to be worked on, you know, I'm really tempted to start designing this. And again, this is not going to be like a normal episode where I'm necessarily going to be that entertaining every minute. I'm just going to try to do what I would normally do in between episodes kind of thing. All right, so this guy can get started on the firehouse here. All right, because where are you at with this? Yeah, it needs a little bit of concrete, a little bit of steel, so we can get their dumpers rolling, right? Getting on the first part. Well, good. I'm glad I'm glad you enjoy it. Oh, I didn't mean to close that. So what I have is each one of the construction offices that are active. There's not a huge amount of point in getting too many more construction offices because we're just going to run out of steel anyway, right? So, okay, good. Brzezinsk North is done. It's done that one road. So what I'm going to do is move Brzezinsk North over. Where is he? Overlook, yeah, over here. So we want him to do this final paved road. And once he gets done this paved road, the rest of the construction over here we're going to leave up to Farminsky, even though we might even move Farminsky over to Brzezinsk North, right? Just because Brzezinsk North's a good road paving crew. And that means we'll go back over to food factories. And this will we'll ramp up this guy's like building ability. Boy, say that 3 times fast. And then so this will be our building crew, and this will be our road paving crew because I'd like to get them working on like this stuff. Now, one of the debates though is, are you better off moving them up here if they don't have people? Because each time they need people, they need to drive all the way down, right? And they don't have asphalt. Oh yeah, look, let's get this. Yeah, that's Itupaflu, or no, that's Electrical Town 2. Yep, good. This is great because now, if we get that bridge done, we're going to be able to like head over here, which I think is closer to get asphalt and concrete. Right, certainly going to be closer for trips over to here. But we'll actually have a connecting road all the way through our tunnel that will be like a big loop road with the addition of this. Good. Yeah, that's the slow processes part when it comes to the videos. You know, I don't know. In today's day and age, people are in such a hurry to get everything, right? So that it's, you know, you just sort of wonder sometimes if people are in too much of a rush. Now this guy was building over there. Yeah, no, we'll get some of these roads built in here. That's why we'll move this guy up to here, the road paving crew, so we can get some more of this stuff done. In the meantime, you know, and even I get into a rush to get things done at times, but let's just take a look, go down each one. Yeah, chemical plant, 34% done. Missing truck with covered haul. So you can't build. You know what? That's all right. We're going to cancel you from that. And I want you to work on another road that you don't need. Yeah, we don't need that road. Like he can work on any other road, even though he can't complete them. Yeah, you know what? Let's have you work on this. Oh, it doesn't connect. What? Why doesn't it connect? Oh, because that's the one you couldn't get done. Okay. Oh, you know what? Did we forget all about a construction crew? By we, I mean me. Yes. Fortunately, they were staying busy. But what we want to do before we forget is say, you can complete that. So good. Those two can kind of work together, right? One can't necessarily complete things. And we had a problem with this guy. Are we all working, or are we Or are we just now jammed up? Like, why? Where are you at? Yeah. So this is going to be an issue, isn't it? This is the second time. Let's try something a little different. Yeah, you know what? Even though it might cause problems of other sorts, when these two guys bump into each other, one of them seems to disappear. So rather than this known issue being a problem, let's just see if they can't manage to get in and out of here. And if they run into each other here, then fine. One of them will disappear and the other one will go forward. That's why I have this guy over on the side here. And let's see. I just want to celebrate for a minute. Yes, we are done the tunnels. Woohoo! I'm just going to hover over them just to see. It's been, I don't know when I started building those tunnels, but it's, what, like 40 episodes ago it feels like? But there we are. Yeah, we're popped out on the other side, so good. Well, this bridge will slow us down, but we're getting part of our railroad loop in place, right? Wonderful. All right, so I think things are going, like pretty well for a minute. And I'm going to, real quick, take a brief break. Now, why are you stopped? Yeah, I think everybody's assigned up for a few minutes, I hope. Here, let's keep going down. Tupafalo? No, of course not. Now, what are you at Tupafalo? You are a good building-ish crew, right? Yeah. Yeah, you want to build buildings. Can you build a building over here yet? No. No, not unless I attach more roads. Which we should do. But let's go, we'll send you back down to here. Somebody can get worked on here, right? At least while I take a few minute break. Yeah, go ahead and build the bus stop. What else can you get to? You can get to the silos. So we'll just give them those two to keep them busy. Yeah, thank you, Steve. Yeah, it has been quite a while. There's patience for you, right? Like some people were saying you have to build them with dollars. But again, I'm more patient probably than the average bear. Not that I've got an overload of it, but good. All right, I'll be back in like less than 3 minutes. All right, how was that? I think that was way under 3 minutes. But the coffee is moving through rather expeditiously. So do we feel a little bit brave? Everything? Let's double check. You know what we can do before we start fast forwarding time? Let's take a look at our population. How many escapes did we have this year? What is this, July? Yeah, this will give us... We've had quite a few escapes, huh? Not particularly anything more than is consistent, which, given the fact that we have over 1,000 adults, I don't know... What is our overall happiness this year? Yeah, I think if we Yeah, our happiness is pretty darn high, so it's not perfect, so I'm sure there's some unhappy people, but I'm wondering if they're just not escaping for, for other reasons. So we did lose population. We were up close to 20,000. So that's a little bit concerning. We got plenty of university educated people. That's what we can do. We can definitely go look at, let's go look at our schools. No teachers. Now this we might have to pause for. Yeah, so this is Limbriska School. All right, yeah, let's pause for a minute. And the reason we have to pause is when it comes to moving these people, so what we need to do is let's send these people pretty much all up to the gulag. Well, we don't need that many teachers here. So we'll bring up 40 teachers for this one. And if I don't do that, then they sort of start refilling with non-teachers, right? And I don't want that. So this is our Farminsky school. Yeah, see, we don't have many teachers here. How are we doing? Yeah, see, we're starting to get the big kids in here, which isn't a problem, but it's the start of a problem. So let's also go back up to the gulag and get rid of a few. I'd rather get rid of them in a controlled manner, right? Yeah, one of the things we can do is let's take them back out of the gulag, the educated ones. Let's see, can I navigate through that little tiny opening? Yes, so let's... All right. Do I have this right, or am I... Okay, so now we have 12 educated in there. Let's put the gulag off to the side. And we'll put this one off to this side. And we need to go back up to the gulag, which isn't far. Yeah, there's no more educated citizens in here to take out. Yeah, we'll just take most of those out. We can fill this guy up and then... kind of fell behind on this a little bit. So now let's go and look at Chemsaw School. Yeah, we're down to 15, so we can take care of these 3, and then we might... Let's see, how's the actual school doing? Yeah, we're starting to get the big kids in there, which is okay, but, it won't be bad to get this worked out. All right, so now... close this. Let's take... There we go. We maxed that out, except for now. Let's go back over to Limbriska. Missed this one. And we're going to take the educated ones back out. All right. And then we got to go back to... Yeah, Chemsaw. I'm only going to do this back and forth so many times. Of course, it takes 6. I really wish it would just take the uneducated people out first. Right? Like, because now we kind of have to come back. Right? So, you know what I could probably do? Let's take all the educated ones out of this one. Well, there's only 3 left anyway, but there we go. That would have made more sense from the beginning. Good. Full of regularly educated people. So now let's go down to our universities. And how many do we need? Like if... Well, we could call it 30 in here, right? 29. And then this one could do... This could do with, like, say, another 20 is 50. And then this one could use 70. So let's try to get... These are excellent... There we go. 65 highly educated. 61. That should be all that we need. So let's go over to... I don't know, whichever one's first here. Saw. Yeah, I'm thinking, I just saw your chat, Steve. Maybe overcrowding. So we'll just fill this guy up with educated. And we can close this. Let's zip on over to here. Is this full? No. There we go. It's like it's... Sometimes it lights up the building, but look, it's not lighting up the building now, but the base is green, right? Oh, this guy's empty. All right, so good. We have a good number of educated there. Let's come down to ChemSaw. See, now the building's lit up, so what's the difference? There we go. Alright, good. So now let's play time. If nothing else, our gulag should start emptying out. But let's go check. Let's go check over here. Yeah, see, we're again starting to get bigger kids over here, which is your first sign of... Yeah, we only have 13 teachers. I'm going to take this and just put it down here because we got to give the gulag a chance for them to escape. And this one has 2 schools. Ooh. Yeah, this one needs... Yeah, see, we're down to 18 teachers, and this one has two different teaching. Yeah, look, one. Yeah, so that's getting to be a bit of an emergency. So we need the gulag to empty out. Now let's take... Well, this one should be fine, right? Because they get their educated from here. So that's... And then the other one to check is... Some of the reasons they might have been leaving, like if you notice there was a drop, is... Remember I didn't have all of these buying... Like I think this store wasn't buying all the stuff as a backup. And once I put that on there, I think some of the unhappiness may have been coming from here. Yeah, this is the one that has the school. Well, you know what? We can throw some more people in here as well. All right, so let's head back up to the gulag and we'll get that open. Yeah, see, we're already down some, but we'll let that drain off a bit. You know what? Yeah, I have not looked at the mechanics of the hostels, though I've thought about it. It's like one of my gaps in knowledge. And if you look, we have this here, right? But no students in this hostel. So maybe we could just play with that for a minute. Well, I guess well, see, the problem is, well, no, yeah, let's see. Let's see. All students. Well, let's get a few students in here. Can we relocate Kameen Flats, right? Yeah, see, this is saying just send students to here. Yeah, there's no way to just send like partially educated people, right? Like if you get all of these. Let's see what happens. I mean, it's not like I want those people in there anyway, right? So what do we have left in here? Yeah, so I guess they become students, right? You know, and become more educated. Look how they're just, because we don't have it paused, like it's just sucking, like we're reducing our plus 21s, but we're not, you know what I'm saying? Like those numbers are just going like right back up. See that? But yeah, we might as well fill this guy up. I'm not too worried about, I just haven't been too worried about the population just because it's, sort of self-sufficient, even if it's far from perfect the way I've done it. There we go. Yeah, so we're full of students, so we should be pumping out more students. Look, I don't like that our energy's fluctuating, but we're working quite busily on that. Well, good. That won't hurt, will it? They don't have the most direct path there, do they? Yeah, they don't want to go out this way, or is it? Oh, yeah, look, I don't really have this one done. That's all right. They're not far away. Hopefully they're close enough to get their needs met as well. Like, you know, I think they will be. All right, good. So let's see. How are we doing here? 126. All right, so we'll keep an eye on all of that. Let's go back through. Yeah, he's working on the fire station. Yeah, he's well on his way to getting that road done. Yeah, working on the plant. Yeah, Hegiodal's working on that road. You know what we're going to do? Let's do this. We'll get us a little closer. And then, let's see. Yeah, you know what we don't have? Well, that's the railroad bridge. Now down here. Okay, yeah. You know what you can work on? You can work on your own way into that area. Look, we got a nice 5-point intersection. I'll go back and check on the usage of the uni. I'm sure it did to a degree. You know, I'm sure it helped. Though I'm not, you know what I'm saying? Is it any different than having regular housing there? Other than, like you said, you can control it better, right? Like, so by putting 85 more people there, I'm sure it is. Now, it's a little bit micromanagey that you would have to assign that, right? It'd be nice if, you know, people went there on their own, but it's understandable why that would be the dynamic. Good. So we got this. Let's just keep checking on these real quick. Yeah, so Electrical Town, you're still building that bridge. And you are just about done this road. So let's jump back up to you. Yeah, you got done that little bit of road. So let's give you this bit of road. And this guy's still working on, or is he? Yeah, that's the rail. Which is the one? Yeah, Tupafaloo. Nah, Hegiodal. Yeah, so you're only 33% done. It's like 57% done. But let's go back to this one. What do we want to work on first? Well, we're working on this one. Yeah, that one we can't really reach. Why don't we... Yeah, we'll do that little stretch. But let's also just complete a couple roads. Right? Like, yeah, we can get this worked on. So, like, now that we're here, we can connect. I guess you're not going to be straight no matter what I do. Right? So that can connect and that can connect because we're done those roads. Oh, yeah, look, we can get all into here. Yeah, if I disconnect this, it's not going to redo it, so that's too much of a pain. So we're just going to do this and this, even though I find those little construction projects annoying. But that'll let us get into building this road and those houses. And then we need to build these and those houses. Yeah, that's a good question, Steve. I don't know. I would think they stay local. Everybody, you know, but that's a guess. We'll have to. We'll go back there in a minute once we get done. Oh, yeah, we could build this little stretch of road too, right? Is that one done? No. Somebody working on that? No. South Rail Corridor. Yeah, get this done. Doesn't connect. Oh, because did I interrupt the darn project in the middle? Yeah. Yes, I did. There you go. Now you got plenty to do. You should stay out of my hair for a little while. All right, let's go back. Well, let's check the gulag. Yeah, we're losing people. We should lose them before it becomes too much of an issue. So let's see. Well, we have 85 people. Let's take a look at some of them. Yeah, they all have ways to go, so we're in no hurry to see the results of this. Just because, you know, they're just going to take a while. All right, so let's close that and come back down here. I guess we could have kept it open on the side, huh? All right, good. All right, so now we have a little to-do list of the schools. And so let's just keep, let's take a look at our trains. Make sure the train constructions are still flowing. Well, they appear to be. A little hard to tell without seeing a traffic jam. Did we get rid of the traffic jam down here? Well, that guy's out building. Where's your buddy? Yep, he's in there building. Good. Now, is this guy getting 4 of them out? We have steel issues. And I don't see any trains on here. Yeah, I'm not seeing that guy's heading out. That guy's out. Yeah, it's all okay. They're all moving. Good. So that means we should be making progress on all of those. All right, so let's just go looking for other issues. Like now that we have 4 of them working, look, our steel is at 405, 403. So how are we doing? This is our problem. I mean, this is, as I've become more and more advanced, you know, good. This guy hasn't left yet, which is encouraging, because he'll bring 300 more steel over to there. But we're really just not making enough steel. And part of the problem is like, you know, our buses are all lined up in a row. Yeah, what is this? See like that? See how they're all coming at the same time? And so you get this rush of people here. And then you run out of coal because all the buses have hit traffic jams over the years. And they all end up lined up together. Hey, Foxy, cool. Not a whole lot. This is not super ultra dramatic. This is just about getting construction done. So you haven't, you know, we had a traffic jam over here. You missed that, and that was in the very beginning. Got that straightened out, and other than that, I just have like all my. This is what I would be doing like off camera, other than I wouldn't talk to myself so much. You know, I'm being verbal like I would during a regular episode. But other than that, it's you know, minimally entertaining is all I'm going to guarantee. but again, if you'd like to see the construction and things come together for a couple 3 hours, or now a couple 2 hours, you know, there we go. So like, yeah, a lot of times you could just look at these things and see they're not busy, which is great. So we now have all of the roads built over in this area. So the question is, are we better off moving these guys away from where they can get asphalt, people, and concrete, right? And here's my theory is that no, we're really not, even though it seems a little counterintuitive, because let's just say you need to drop off 1 load of concrete, 1 load of gravel, and 1 load of asphalt, which is sometimes common, right? You're going to come over here, get that asphalt, and the other stuff, you know, send 3 trucks, of course. And you're going to send those trucks out to work on this road, say, right? Then they're going to go back, and that's, in other words, it takes 1. If we sent them from here, they have to drive all the way back there, get the asphalt, then drive basically all the way back to here and drop it off to this road. It takes twice as long to get that asphalt to the road. Now, once they start going back and forth, there's really no difference, right? On the second trip back and forth, there's no difference. And then the time is made up for like when they get done dropping off, they would have to come back up here, right? Or go all the way back there when they drop off their last load. Well, you're better off with that first run up to here being with stuff. Does that make sense? Like, in other words, who cares if they're empty when they don't have to drop anything else off, right? Like, and they're heading back there. So I think I'm not going to move these guys from there because I think it's more efficient, in other words, to assign this crew all the way up to here because otherwise they would have to drive all the way back there to get stuff, right? Now, what we could also do possibly is start assigning them things up here. But anyway, does that make sense? I hope it does. But anyway, so now we're working on this road, and we're working on this road from two different directions. And why is this still stuck on? Yeah, why are we... Here, let's go click on another one. Like I'm stuck on... There you go. I was stuck on... I couldn't right-click and get rid of that thing. All right, there we go. So we're working on these roads. Let's keep going down the list here. Food factories. Yeah, how's our little fire station doing? Yeah, we just need a few more bricks, which shouldn't take them long to get over there. Yep, there they come right now. So now that they're at that, we know they have all the supplies out here. Let's give this guy more work to do because he can start dragging up, you know, more supplies. Now the other thing, let's go look and look. I did it again, so it's not liking, it's not unclicking there. Let's go look for a bus. I know there's like a little bus in one of these depots. Gateway Love. What do you have in your depot? Nothing. Let's go over to here since we're halfway there. Yeah, there you go. Look, little bus. I knew I remember seeing him. So I guess, what is the closest place? Do we go over to Electrical Town or... Yeah, I think Electrical Town might be closer, but will there be more traffic to deal with than if we went to Farming Ski? Yeah, let's go to Farming Ski. Did we get the bus stop done? Yeah, so you're going to go from there to there. You're just going to bring as many workers as you can. And I don't really need to take these off, but I will. All right, another thing. Yeah, you might as well start now. What the heck? So I don't forget to start you. Let's come over here and take this guy off of auto search. Yeah, I don't know why. Okay, yeah, you don't have anybody working for you, so. All right, so anyway. Food factories, construction office, 2. All right, so we should have a few people. Specify where citizens go. Well, I can't select that yet, but I will be able to shortly. And yeah, so how are trains? Trains are still busy down here, right? How are we doing? We're not all jammed up or something stupid. No, there he goes back in. Yep, this guy's still working. It takes him a while to get the bridges built. So yeah, there's no hurry to get more railroads designed until we get most of this done here. And then as far as this guy goes, yeah, this guy's on the bridge. Good. Yeah, there's somebody else coming out. Good. They're coming back. How are we doing over here? Oh, yeah, look, we're getting in there. Good. And then these guys over here, are they building rails? Yep, they're not quite to the bridge yet, but they're building now. Are these? Yeah, they are electrical rails. Okay, good. Yeah, make sure I upgraded all those. I think I did, yeah. Everything should be electrical rails. Now, one thing I want to do, okay, we put in our electrical rail thing here. Yeah, like I said, this is just about getting construction done. So we'll see how it goes you know, this, we'll just see how it goes. We'll be patient. Patient as patient can be. Now we can look at, by the way, another thing we're doing is we're getting rid of people. Yeah, they're not fleeing as fast as I would hope they would. We could probably dump some more people in there, right? Let's go over here. So we'll have to pause for this. Yeah, Kameen. Yeah, how's your school doing? Well, we still have some teachers, but why don't we get them ramped up? So let's pause here for a second. Jump up to here. Relocate. Yeah, it seems to actually take the educated out first, right? And I really wish there was a way you could just click over to here and say, go back in there, you know? But we can't. We have to come here. Yeah, you know what? I think once we get another one, oops, put one here. Now, are you definitely taking the educated out first, right? Okay, good. So that's filled back up. Let's see. Yeah, we just want to shrink this one. Let's go down this way because it's closer. And we'll head back over to the university. And we'll pick one of these houses that's reasonably close. It's got 50 people. Yeah, we're not going to be able to get more than 20 in here anyway. That'll at least get us started. Relocate up to 5 citizens. Which house are we actually looking at? Yeah, this one. Right? Yeah. There you go. Alright, good. So now we can play time again. So we don't have an emergency, but our schools were getting, if you weren't here for that part, schools were getting low on teachers. So we have our houses that are assigned to give us more teachers. Yeah, let's move this back down. I don't know what you mean, focus on one place first. Like one school, or are you referring back to constructions? Because constructions, you know, no, I'm not going to focus on one. Like I want to get, you know, like to focus on one means to not get much done. Like in other words, we're going to get more done if we focus on all of them. And the truth of the matter is all of this is really being done so that we can get steel going, right? So the one thing I will tend to do is focus on, you know, is focus on getting this power plants built first. But like there's no real point in like really ramping it up because we're just going to run out of steel anyway if we focus too much. So I do want to finish off like what I'll call loose ends. So we're going to get in here and we're going to finish off these rails first. You know what? Let's. He's working on the bypass, but you know what? I don't really want him working on the bypass. Sorry, I distracted myself. This is going to be what this is about. So no, I mean, I'm happy with the way it's going. Like as far as, so this is just Chemsaw unfinished road 39. Is that this one, right? Yeah. So even though you're happily and busily working, I want to redirect you to one of these tracks like this. Yeah, you're still working on the bridge. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, so I mean, I'm happy. I want to get this done because it's going to be a bit of an experiment in distribution, which is another one of our bigger issues. Radomir had a suggestion today that I, you know, start distributing things better. So while this area is a bit of a, you know, I mean, it was built before we even had cement silos kind of thing. And this has been not a failure, but not the greatest solution because trains keep coming in here and looping around stupidly. So what I want to do is get this worked on a little bit better and get rid of all of this, and then, so, and I want to just see how this works when it's actually built. Like, do trains come in here well and everything gets distributed well? Because then I want to get more stuff distributed. Like, once we start making all this steel, that's when we're really going to try to, get the loop all the way through here going, right? So yes, if we're going to focus, the problem is, I don't know even exactly what you mean by focus. Like, why would I just work on this area? Does it really matter? Like, if, in other words, if we have 100 hours worth of work for your man hours, say, like, they all kind of need to get done, right? So in other words, just for the sake of seeing this done and then doing like almost nothing, you know what I mean? Like, hey, look, we got a power plant, but we don't have any real use for it. Hey, look, we got this coal all done, but we don't really have any use for it. Like, so in a perfect world, you would schedule it for it all to get done at the same time, right? Though I understand this is far from a perfect world. So yeah, so I'm not trying to be mean about it, just so you know. Just hopefully, I'm just happy to let everybody make a little progress. And I really want to get this done, for example. So some of this, before we can focus, I want to wrap up loose ends. Like, focused would have been to not design all this stuff in the first place, right? But if you look, we don't even have this attached, so we're not focusing on that at all. We really need to get people going into here, right? So, we kind of need to focus on that, so to speak. You know what? I need to commit to those roads. There we go. All right, so you still have 3 roads you can build. Now, how about Peggy O'Dowd? Yeah, you just missing truck with covered haul, so I think that's Nueve Revergrad, right? Yep, get rid of that. Yeah, see, these guys can't complete that, so we should go, before we forget, South Rail Construction. Yeah, I think that's that road. That road. Yeah, you already assigned that one. Good. Well, you certainly have enough to do, even if everybody else doesn't. So yeah, I'm going to keep plugging away like a wave, just crashing into the shores. Because some of the things that make it hard, too, about, like, focusing is, well, yeah, but we can't even really get in here to build yet because we don't have this bridge built, right? Like, so, I need to focus on building this road over to here so we can start building this bridge. And at this point, it's the only way in and out of here. So until we start dividing it off, we're going to end up, like, this is sort of a catch-all. Like, when I can't build any place in here, then I'm going to build over here, right? And you can see that's what we're doing. Let's take a look at this guy. Yeah, see, he's only 1% on that. So when he gets further along with that project, we can, maybe start, quote, focusing on this. But even again, like, if we decided to, well, one of the real, like, another kind of loose end that I want to get finished up is, oh, look, we got our chemical factory built. Good. It was this chemical. Remember, we kind of designed all this stuff, and then in one episode I realized we're just really not making enough chemicals. So I want to get this chemicals ramped up because that's slowing our construction down. So it's like, there's only so many offices we can put on this. So I think I am focused maybe on a broader level, if that makes, I know that's not necessarily focused, but all right, what are we looking for? Farminsky. Yeah, so we're going to get you to do this, and this, and this. Yeah, and then we should be able to send trucks up to that. And then we might, just for the sake of calling it done, we might even just get the 3rd one going, right? Now we might have to come over here and we got to build this too. Let's not forget that. I don't know what the cars don't seem to make a whole lot of sense to me. And in particular, maybe you know, I have enough traffic on the roads as it is without individuals driving cars around. Like, I guess I'd have to wait and see. I mean, I'm sure in certain circumstances it could make a lot of sense. Like, you know, like the busing of people up here to our fire station, which, oops, speaking of which, let's specify that they go work in the fire station, right? Now, did you actually drop off? Oh, look, yeah, look, he dropped off people and they all went to work over here. Okay, so why can't you? Oh, is that without power supply? What? Okay, well, we need to get... Yeah, where is our... Did we just not build the power in here at all? Yeah, we don't have any power lines. You know what? What is this? Where are you going to? Are you... Yeah, I guess they are connected. Yeah, so no, we just didn't bother to put power in here at all, did we? Okay, well, there's something else to focus on. Good morning, Off the Rails. Welcome. We were just putzing around here, getting some stuff done. So let's put this guy... Yeah, I'm going to try to cheat him down, get as many buildings as we can before we run into that rail station. I know you guys probably can't see what I just did too well, but there we go. We got... can I get a little dirt road? Can I see a dirt road? There you go. All right, so now let's get some medium, large size medium ones. Yeah, you know what? We're just going to come... Can we come that far? No, we can come this far, though. That's pretty good. All right, so let's commit to that. And kind of ASAP. Get this guy working on that. And working on that. All right, good. So now we can go off... Oh, I didn't mean to close you. Truck, missing truck with covered hull. Really? We will rectify that promptly. There you go, buddy. Here's your covered hull. Okay, so now we got all the way over to here, I think, even. So if we can get one in this region, another substation. Yeah, I'm sure that's going to cover everything that other one didn't. And I don't anticipate any other further needs. There we go. We'll zoom in and show you what I just did. So we have a little substation here with a paved road, which we don't really need. Get you a little dirt road coming out. Go back and get you some power lines. Yeah, we'll just, why don't we cheat you over this way a little bit. How's that look? We'll cheat that guy. So another pole comes out, tight a turn, and I think he'll, yep. All right, and just so we don't forget, even though we're kind of overloading this guy quite a bit, get him them working. They seem to work on the, like, do them in order, so let's see, why are we so slow on the food factory? Yeah, just because you have to go forever and a day to get all that stuff, huh? That's all right. So that's fine. So see, this guy can focus on this. He's got plenty of projects to work on over here while these guys work on these roads, getting us into here so we can start getting this done. And so then if there's a secondary focus, it's going to be getting into here, right? The car factories, I'm sorry, I just saw your thing again. The car factories and all, yeah, I think there's other things that I would have rather they worked on, like a waypoint for the trains. Like maybe they're still working on that, like But I really want waypoints for the trains, and I would like to see them work on, a lot of this mess is to avoid, like, I don't even really know if these, I wish there was a way that you could, where's the rail yards? Like this is a conveyor. I really wish there was a way that you could control, fill this one up first, fill this one up second, right? I mean, I have a whole train loop built in here so I can control where the coal goes for sure. So there's a few other things I'd rather them work on. But yeah, I mean, anything they add is good. I'm glad to see they're at the point that they're adding things as opposed to what seems like what's been going on for the last few months, which is like fixing bugs. I also wish that they would deal with the leveling. While there's a certain part of me that likes to be able to level like this, there's another part of me that can't stand it. I mean, it's, like it's, I don't know, it started out a realistic game, and now where does all this dirt go? Right? I mean, I took out mountains. Like, I don't know if you guys remember what this looked like, but there was mountain ranges that are now like gone. So I wish they would make it where you would have like another construction mechanism as opposed to leveling. If people are complaining about their fingers getting tired doing the leveling, then I would rather them build a construction mechanism that would, where it wasn't a carpal tunnel issue anymore, but we had like, quote, a more realistic leveling kind of thing. Because while I think this is wonderful, I'm doing more of this stuff because the game is less challenging. Like when I first started over here, like you really couldn't level that much. I mean, I built this road up and over like this, and even just leveling out these little bits was a real pain, compared to what it would be, whatever. I mean, it literally took me hours to get this in, which is really not that much leveling when you look at it. Like putting these in literally was crazy. It took hours to get those leveled out right. But I liked that, so I wish that people don't want it to be hard, take time consuming to level. Can we have it where there's a truck that needs to come in here and haul dirt away to a pile someplace else, right? Like we can fill in the lake over here or something. Or like just have some other natural limits, because I think it makes it far more strategic when it's hard to get, like you can't just build this right here. You would have to do it more strategically. So off the rails, I missed your comment in a sense about traffic is going to be quite an issue. Do you mean with like the cars, individual cars? Yeah, if they do individual cars, we need more roads, right? Like you need highways in a sense, and you need overpasses, and more like, like what City Skylines has, where you have one-way roads and that kind of thing. Like, yeah, if you're going to have individual cars, and I assume that's what your traffic comment was about. All right, so how are we doing? How are we doing at the Gulag? Okay, we're down to 95. So we got Kameen kind of solved. So let's talk about Energenisk. Now let's talk about, let's do Electrical Town first, because they're smaller and we can get this done. Well, here, let's do this. Now let's go up to here first. So we'll take out some people from Electrical Town. Oh, we need to pause it. Send them into the Gulag. Yeah, I really wish it wouldn't take all my educated people out, but... Alright, so now let's go back down to here. Take the educated people. Yeah, they go here. Right. Now how much room do we have here? So we can put in... Not many. Yeah, so that's really kind of annoying that they take those. Oop, that is the Gulag. Sorry, come out from here. Yeah, see, now it doesn't seem, that's better. So now we can get, what's that, 36? Yeah, we can get like 40 people in there. Should be plenty let's shrink this and head on down to the university. Yeah, we got 59 people there, so let's head on back over to Electrical Town. There we go. So yeah, good. We have 39 people. Should be plenty to teach in that school for now. At least we're out of harm's way. So I'm going to close this one. How about Kameen? Do we have enough people? Let's make an honest assessment. No, that's the wrong house. This house. Yeah. So we have 27. How does it look? Yeah, not really. Well, yeah, we have enough. So we're going to close them for a minute, but I'm going to remember to come back and deal with that. So we're going to let the gulag completely empty out again, and then we'll take care of Energinus getting the educated over there. Yeah, let's see about the personal cars. What do we have? Oh, we're paused. I scared myself. I saw all the vehicles just sitting there. Oops. All right, how are we doing here? Yeah, there's the water plane again. Yeah, we're not making fast progress, but again, I'm not too upset because until we get steel mills, this is going to be slow. Oh, look, there goes the train. Woohoo! Like if we look, like this train thing is, we have 2 steel. There's no backup of steel. Now this over here was at like 600 at one point. Yeah, it's still at 600. So we're just, more or less, it's just this train station, plus we've been building these buildings, right? So as we build these buildings, plus the trains doing their rail construction in here, we are supplying steel there about as fast as we can. And then how are we, look at this, see how much steel we have here? And we're not exporting any, so it's good timing that train's coming up, because we're down to 200. And then how are we doing over here? This isn't holding very much, but this should be full. Yeah. So in other words, if we start building hardly any faster, we are just going to run out of steel. We're not going to be able to build any faster than we are right now, as a general, not maybe right this instant, but as a general statement, right? Well, that's where I'm talking about the waypoints, the Fox. Like if you could have waypoints, then you could, I mean, I don't know why the cars wouldn't be able to have a waypoint as well. I mean, the trains would be particularly nice, but, if you could say, no, I want you to drive through this point, and then that way they wouldn't drive through this way, Or let's say you didn't want them to drive through this area if they were on their way over to here, right? You could put a waypoint here, and that would cause them to go down this road and then head this way. And again, same thing with the trains would be really nice in particular, because I could say, hey, I want you to go, like when we get into situations up here, like this is coal coming in, right? Well, what I'm afraid is going to happen is down the road, I would like to maybe have some more power plants over here, maybe, right? Just because we're going to be making extra coal. Thank you, game save. Like near Bricksville here. So I'm picturing like maybe we'll even have power plants near Bricksville, a couple of them. But then there'll be extra coal that comes from Bricksville. Just because if nothing else, we won't be using as many bricks, right? So as brick usage and cement usage goes up and down, so you could have a couple power plants here just set up to export coal or export extra energy, right? Well, coming all the way back to here, well, what I would like to do is tell this coal train, you know what, I don't want you going to any of these other coal drop-off points. I just want you to go right on up there to the power plant, and I want you to go on this rail, which bypasses everything and just heads up that way, right? But what I'm afraid is going to happen is the train's going to decide, well, it's better to go right through this thing. But there's going to be coal trains here waiting to offload stuff, and then the whole thing's just going to grind to a halt. That's what I'm afraid is going to happen. But we'll see. Yes, traffic in city skylines is a thing. That's for sure. There's no doubt about it. All right, let's take a look, make sure. Przink North. Yep, he's all the way up there building that road. Oh, good. Look, this guy's getting most of that done. Yeah, up here. Yeah, we're kind of. We have another. Do we have another bus? Oh no, we have the bus stop right there. So let's assign this guy to that. Now, this bus is going from bus platform 2 to the Chemsol plant, but let's have them start going to here. Oops. There we go. That's what I meant to do. And then what we'll do is we'll say you can go to here and here 50-50. We might need to put more buses on that, but we're not going to get any students up there anyway, but and then we're not limiting. Are we limiting? Yes, let's get a full load of people. Let's close that, and let's come over to here and say, show me all the related vehicles. That's covered. Yeah, so it was only, what is this? What was an M car? Oh, that's just a little truck. Okay, good. So there's no other buses. I was just looking. So we only have one bus. So let's see if that could be part of the problem, right? Is that we only have one bus. So let's go get another one of these buses. Mars 305. Just so that they're the same speed so they don't catch up to each other. If we can even buy it. Let's filter the buses. No, we can't get a Mars 305. Well, I just saw him pop over 100 kilometers an hour, so let's get one. Let's get one of the red buses. Hopefully they don't. Oh, we already had a bus in here, didn't we? Okay, well now we got two buses in there. So let's copy this guy's route to this guy. Right? We can go ahead and start. So we do have an extra bus down here. We should keep that in mind. Cool. How's our railroad tracks doing? Getting a lot of prefab panels built up there, guys. I don't know why. Do we need prefab panels for this? Yeah. Alright, well, as long as you guys are still going back and forth, I'm not going to complain too much, but I really wish that this is here another thing. Rather than working on cars, let's get that fixed, because that's pretty annoying to me. Because eventually that might just stop working altogether. Alright, what did we close that we're now prefabs? Yeah, mod support would be very, yes, that would be, yeah, I would put up with all the other things I just complained about if we could get mod support. You're absolutely correct. That would be quite awesome. I'd love to have buildings, because I know the modder, like I've already proven in the one video I made, like you could, you know, you could add stops to this. Like it's, I can do it, and I'm not a modder kind of thing. Like, oh, you know what? We have, we still don't have power. I mean, you know what? Doesn't mean we can't buy a fire truck, right? Yeah, I'm a little bit worried about, can we even buy a fire truck after 1997? All right, well, we have the one truck, right? Speed level 5. I don't... Yeah, show all doesn't seem to do anything. Now, some people have... Or I think it might not be impossible to come in... I think they said you can change the conditions. No. Yeah. I hope that we don't end up... I mean, that could end the whole thing if I can't buy any more vehicles, right? Like, maybe there's... hopefully there's a way... I'll look into it. Is there a way to turn off the years, right? Like, what happens when we can no longer buy a fire truck because it's past 1997? There might already be vehicles that we can't buy. Good, so we're making progress on that road and that road. Look, all right, there we go. We have connection between the two, so we can now... Yeah, we can now, I don't know, connect the two. So I think it would be better to send these guys here, especially because they're going to be working mostly over this way. Let's go ahead and reassign where they get asphalt and concrete from. All right, so you're going to get your asphalt from here, and you're going to get your concrete from here. Yeah, everything else is... Yeah, are we better off getting... I don't want to drain the people out of here too much. So we'll head back to farming ski for people. And then do we ever set up this guy? No, we might as well set this guy up, right? So yeah, you'll go back over to farming ski for people, even though it's far from ideal. I'll read your comment in a second. Off the rails. Let me just finish getting these. Where is the bus stop? There it is. Let's see, long distance. All right, aggregate storage. Oh yeah, you know what? You guys could come up here for gravel as well, couldn't you? Yeah, we'll get the other one going, gravels as well. Okay, concrete. Yeah, I think that'll be better. And this other stuff will go down there. And yeah, this guy, I don't know why I closed him. Let's head back over here real quick. Send him over here to get gravel as well. All right. Good. All right, so you can be shrunken. And you're going to get all this other stuff from down here. There we go. Very good. Very good, very good. Yeah, so I can close that. Now, I guess I'm just sitting there humming because do we want to actually... You know, I don't mind the fact that this guy is coming from over here for the reasons I stated earlier. And let me, now that things are settled down, let me read the comments. Yeah, things seem to come out pretty slowly, but yeah, I think it would really be kind of cool to be able to, like, not so much edit the building entirely, but like if we just look at the small aggregate storage. There we go. Well, that's the medium one. That's not the aggregate storage. Like, wouldn't it be nice to just change the conveyors configuration so that, like, maybe you want the road, like as we're looking at it now, let's go over to a flat spot or a, you know what I mean? Wouldn't it be cool if you could just say, no, I want the road to go out to the left and I want the conveyor, output conveyor to go straight. You know, like, or even just flip the whole thing mirrored where, you know, like, so that you could just orient this much more easily. Like it would really be nice to be able to change the inputs and the outputs, or at least one or the other, right? Like, because if you could change one, you could reorient things. I think that would be a really cool tool to have. And then, you know, along with the mods. So how are we doing on the gulag? Yeah, we're down to 116. Oh yeah, you got lots to do. Let's see, how are you doing? Yeah, you just have a long way to build, so that's why you're so slow. Okay, so we are ready to fire this guy up. So let's come in here and think about this. So we're not making any chemicals because we don't have any wood. So we need a wood truck. What is your job in life? So you're going to go to the chemical warehouse, and then you're going to come back up here, and you're going to go to this one, then you're going to go back to that one. No, it always does that wrong. Well, I wish it would just keep bumping down, right? So yeah, chemical plant 2. Don't load anything. Load chemicals. Sometimes I think you're better off pausing when you do this stuff, because then next thing you know, he's going to pick up like wood or something stupid. Yep. So these guys have been running back and forth very ineffectively. So let's go see. What's your job in life? Yeah, you're bringing corn, so you know what? I'm going to pause it because I do really believe they're going to do stupid stuff. Right, so you are going to come up to here, and then let's move this down one, and then you're going to come back to. No. Actually, in this case, I do want to shove you in between. Did I do the load and unload wrong with that other one? I need to go check. And I did see a chat go by. I didn't quite get the chance. No, you're going to unload after all of that. And on the load. Right? And you're not waiting any place. Yep. Alright, so you're good. I'm happy with you. Now, where was this guy? Yeah, this one. Yeah, load and unload. Okay, good. Now, where are we getting wood from? Yeah, little tiny itty-bitty guy there, huh? You're probably on... No, you're not on weight. Okay, good. Well, you can go back to your storage. Did I do that right? Yep. Load wood. Then come to chemical plant 2, and that one I did wrong. Yep, load, unload. Alright, load, unload. Yeah. Yep, so that should get us wood and chemicals coming out and corn coming in. So let's start playing time again. Keep an eye. And then in the meantime, Farming Ski can keep... Oh, we need a little road, don't we? I think you're capable of paving a road. Let's hope so. Yeah, we need this guy. Ooh, that's sort of a... Yeah, you know what? Forget that. You're not going to be a place anybody's going to do any... What happened there? Yeah, you're just a construction road, so we don't need to make you permanent. So you can get to work on... Yeah, we'll get you to do this and that road. Yep, and then we're going to have to get you to do this conveyor. Yeah, a little more involved with getting over to this one. Do we actually have a conveyor into this one? Let's take a look. That might be a problem. Yes. Or no. Yeah, we can't do it until we build. Yeah, let's build all of this. See, the road is in the way. So we'll have to build that before we can build that. But that's okay. We can do that. All right, good. So we should have just doubled our chemical production in theory, at least. Especially if we actually see some chemicals being produced. Oh, we got to get corn. Is this our corn truck coming? Yep. Very good. Yep, there goes a boatload more people. All right, let me read some chats. Yes, I've already kind of replanned the industries. When we get a second here and I catch my breath, I will show you what the replan consists of now. It's not a massive replan, but it is, yes. And then once the industries were, assuming they don't come out with some, let's call it map breaking great update where we want to restart just because it's so wonderful to restart. Assuming, that doesn't, there we go. We got chemicals coming. Woo. But yeah, I can real quick review that. So one of the reasons I want to focus on this is because I want to see how this distribution actually goes, right? And if this goes pretty well, last chance to buy. Yeah, I'm concerned about not being able to buy vehicles. But, I want to start making like better train distribution areas. And as part of that, like for the most part, I want to make sure we can get people the stuff they need, but of course the construction implements. So what I'm picturing is like a big rail loop that comes around, goes through one way or the other. I don't know if we'll loop this way and then around, like because there's Revergrad, but what I would like to do is I went around and looked at each thing. So like, we have coal and livestock. So what I did was new farm location, right? So we're going to take our farms, probably not replace all these fields, but get rid of the agro farm here and bring it over more centralized and maybe even put in another farm set up here. We have cattle town, so we would take the cattle out of Revergrad and put it over here. And then we have this little clothing, our little tiny clothing industry. Well, we would take the clothing and maybe put it over here. And then we would have like trains that could get these crops because the cattle need the crops. And then I think I would leave Revergrad. Once we got rid of all of this, I think this would be like distillery central, right? We would have, gotten rid of all these buildings. Well, we could put distilleries. And if we wanted to, we could even really put distilleries over this way. But I'd also like to, you get the idea. So we could, I don't know how many distilleries we could possibly use, but they're not very big, and I'm sure we could fit them in here, especially with getting rid of some of these fields if we needed to, in addition. There you go. So now we have our distribution of things going around, and, this is all kind of fine and well, but, we have plastics, we have oil, we have steel kind of all jammed in here. We have gravel town here, Quarryville, which is really not a bad little Quarryville, right? Like there's, but, we have cement that's being made kind of jammed in here. And so if you picture, we now still have our loop. We're going around in the big circle, right? So like right here, we turn and go through like the center of the big circle. So the center of the big circle is going to be around Neuve Revergrad, kind of, sort of, right? So we'll have like a crossing of rails in here, but the main line, not the main line, the main loop would head over to here. And then if you look, I have quarries like thought about for over here. We would then have like another, distribution hub where we would drop off, we would have construction offices and food distribution and fuel and everything else in our distribution area here. I have prefab panels because prefab panels need quarries and cement, right? So we would have like a cement area over here. That cement could be trained over to prefabs along with the quarries. Now the cement needs coal. So we would have coal coming from Bricksville, where we'll have a bunch of brick plants. and that'll move the one little brick operation we have out of Revergrad. But bricks need, kind of the most coal. So we'll have, a bunch of brick factories here, coal mines. Now the excess coal, because how many bricks are we ever going to need, right? The excess coal could be fed up to the cement, right? So there you go. So now, don't know what else we would use the coal for in particular, but we'd have another distribution area here, and this will actually end up being like the main distribution for, it could distribute to Bricksville. It could also, Cementville will probably get distribution from here, but this will be like actually the main distribution into Nueve Revergrad, right? So in other words, we'll have food right here. And it's one of the reasons, if you've watched the regular episodes, that I've talked about getting rid of Electrical Town, because I'm not going to have a good distribution. If we do this kind of external, picture the loop of trains, like, and this train would come around here one way or the other, come around like the backside of some of this stuff and end up catching this loop again and then coming around back to here, drop off more food. Like we have our food factories here. We could pick up food here. I'm not going to get rid of all these farms, so we'll have corn. Does that make sense? And I think that actually covers pretty much all of the industries in the big outer loop. And then we have a nice oil field over here where I have this circle. So like right now I put like Plastic Town or Plastic Ton. And then I also have like mechanical components over here, because if we build all these steel mills, one of the things, it wouldn't be unreasonable to get a train line over to here, drop off a bunch of mechanical components. We may need to put in like another town over here in order to supply enough people, because I think there's going to be a limit to how many people we can train from Nueve Revergrad. Yeah. And then that leaves, if you think about it over here, we're going to have this oil area, which is a nice oil area. So this could be where we produce more, like when we get rid of this plastic factory, because we have a bigger one over there, you could talk about more refineries over here, just making oil and fuel. No reason necessarily to move this steel mill. I mean, it's functioning fine, but, and it could contribute its steel to the loop, so to speak. But we might also consider getting rid of this mechanical components from over here, replacing it with a better setup. And again, that would just allow more room for this to become more like oil refinery, fuel and bitumen production if we needed it. There, was that a lot of talking? Let me read your comments. But yeah, by the way, here would be another distribution area here that would feed like our new cattle town, and it could feed food and whatnot. So we would need another, there we go, I have like Revergrad distribution written in here. So that would feed like our clothing town. And again, I don't know if we wouldn't bus people from the old Revergrad, but either way, you can kind of maybe picture another kind of food / general distribution here. Now, if I had known everything I know now, again, but when I started, like I said, the leveling system was different, and we just didn't have any money. We started right near an American port. I mean, I was worried, if you guys go back and watch those episodes, like, by the time my self-imposed, you need a gravel road kind of thing, oh, look at that guy turning around there. Could use a gas station up here, huh? But anyway, like by the time I got the gravel road built to here, I mean, we only had like $100,000 left. It wasn't like we didn't have any extra money for anything. I mean, I was just struggling to get the steel mill going kind of thing, So a lot of this stuff was just all sort of jammed in. I think one of the first things that I didn't feel jammed up about is actually the chemical town. These other things, this is a lot, but it's, if you think about it, it's sort of all jammed together without needing many vehicles. So this was when we were starting to open up and get connected, when I didn't feel so bad about buying some extra trucks. Yes, decorations are coming. Speaking of adding more trees, how is our... Okay, Lumbrisca seems to be doing fine. I just want to make sure we're, you want to come in here and make sure your lumber bills have trees. Yes, we're going to, as we do these things, like you're going to start noticing that the things that are more open are going to be more open. Like, in other words, there's some room to put in decorations in this area, which is one of the first real, I think, well thought out or better thought out areas where, if you look, we have extra room to decorate. And certainly, Neuve Revergrad will get its more than fair share of attention as far as decorating with stuff goes. I was also hoping at some point that they would have more for decorations. I mean, they need a statue of me in the game. Then I would have more statues. Anyway, God, I hope you know I'm kidding. Though I wouldn't be opposed to a statue of me, as long as it looked something along the lines of Michelangelo's David. That would be perfect. All right, so let's check while we're talking. While I'm talking. Yeah, and the Discord is there, by the way, guys. I don't want to do too much Discord because it's hard enough for me to think about what I'm saying, and I want this to be something people can watch later on when it comes to these live streams. But, the Discord channel here is on, and I do have a link on the regular videos. Let's see. Yeah, I don't see anybody in it, but you guys are welcome to go over there and actually use the voice chat or whatever amongst each other. But I don't like when people do live streams and then you can't see the chat, right? Even though the chat kind of stinks, and I'll agree to that. Like when you watch this, and more people watch these videos later than watch them live. So, and I think, especially this one, I want this to be episode 79 and a half, right? So if you just want to see what happened today, you can, Okay, so Hegiodal has done this road. So since this is just a little one, let's give them that to do, since they beat the other guy to it. And we might as well keep them working in here, right? Yeah, you can do that one too. And how are you doing on this? You're plugging away. And Itupafalu, who is our... Yeah, they're really the good, like, big concrete projects. So, like, if we have overpasses, like, that's who we want to put on this overpass here. Now, do we have... No, we don't really have anything else for them to work on. You know what we don't have over here at all? And I don't want to do it in this episode, but we don't have any roads. So that will be probably one of the first things we do in episode 80, Monday's episode, which I'll be doing later this afternoon when we get this done. And then I'll upload it for tomorrow morning. All right, so let's keep going down. So Itupafalu has kind of hit a bit of a dead end. Yeah, I don't know what else. Well, you know what? I could probably just have them do something until they run out of steam, right? Like, even if they don't have... Or even can I? I mean, yeah, they could work on this. That's it. Alright, well, you might as well. Rather than sitting around doing nothing. Electrical Town... Oh, no, Itupafalu is a paving crew, isn't they? No, they're more of a regular construction crew. Yeah, so we'll have them work on that. Electrical Town is, yeah, they're the dumper heavy asphalt crew that has mixers, that's good at building the roads, and they're not doing anything right now. And I really don't have that much more for them to do. I don't like the auto build. I like to control it myself. It's just the one aspect of micromanagement that I enjoy. Like, and like the other thing I find when I use it, like, if you just want to use generic construction crews, like, but each of my construction crew has a purpose to some degree. Like, I have, generally speaking, 3 or 4 different types of construction crews. So there's no way that I can assign this guy, food factories, to do what he's good at, right? Which is generic construction. Probably even add a crane onto him eventually. Yeah, let's do that before I can't buy cranes anymore. Yeah, we'll give him, do we have open haul? Yeah, we have open haul. Let's get him the fastest. Ooh, look at that. Big tower crane. But this guy's a general construction. I don't want him working on this road, right? Like, I'd rather him be working over here, and the game's not that smart. Like, you know, they don't, like, I want him to work on buildings, and then the other thing is, like, this guy is, like, way over here. It's actually better, because of where we have, you know, the materials, it's actually better for him to work out of here than it is to go someplace else. Well, I want him working on this road. I don't want him working on road some other place on the map, you know, like, so that's why. That's the main reason. And I don't mind the, like, this is what I do. Like, if I wasn't doing the live stream, I would be, if I was working on this off camera, I would be, what do you call it? Like, watching the YouTube video or whatever else, and just reassigning these guys jobs. All right, rail south. Yes. So you can do some more paving over here. So we're going to get you to work on that. And that. Didn't we already assign you those things, I thought? But you can do this. So we're going to get these buildings all attached. Yeah, lots of work for him. A lot of little jobs. So that'll suck up some time. So I hope that answers your question. Food factories, construction office 2. Yeah, you're... You know, I would put people in there. I don't have a problem with buying the stuff, but there's really just not much for him to do at this moment. Once we get into here more, there will be. But we need to get this little road done so we can start really getting into here in earnest. Well, I wish that I don't like, you know, you say, well, you need more trees to be decorative. I mean, I think these buildings are built fine close to each other, right? I mean, this is, if you level the map, like I generally do, like, you can build them pretty darn close. It's not, when they're not level, then they get kind of goofy far away. But that makes sense, because if you need a hill, you know what I'm saying? Like, then there's a hill there, so you can't really build on a hill. So I don't have a problem with that. You know, it would be nice if you could get some more decorations in. Like, we could probably plop more trees in here. And what I wish is that, like, this to me is bad. Like, can't we just get parking spaces that, but maybe that's one of the things they can do with modifying the buildings. Like, you would pay extra money for it, but it would be nice here if you could have, like, 6 parking spaces instead of 4 here and then have to have this connection. Yeah, so I've heard people complain about wanting to build the buildings closer together, you know, but I think the problem that you have here isn't that you can't build the buildings closer together, it's that you have to have these, you don't have enough parking spaces, right? Like, oh, look at this. Okay, you all are getting, okay, as long as you're not dropping anything off. Yeah, see, we don't have any electronic components. Why are we not making electronic components? Does that make sense? Like, in other words, I think there's other mechanisms that are forcing you to have the buildings not so close to each other. We don't have any plastic, is our problem. Well, not. Oh, okay, do we have, what are you doing? You're dropping off chemicals. Yeah, so we don't have any plastics in that building. What are you doing? Yep, you're bringing plastics. Yeah, we need trains. Oh, look, we got this train track done. So it means we have to reassign more. Like we were planning on getting plastics by train up here eventually. Why don't we have plastics there? You would think we should. Where are you going from? Oh, you know what? Is it because I'm having them wait? Yeah, so this one is electrical components factory. Yeah, see, they're waiting in 3, but we're using them faster. Yeah, so the cure for that is just to have this guy constantly driving around. I don't know if that'll, you know, like, do we have to have these guys? Let's just set them in motion, because we don't need to run out of this stuff. But anyway, yeah, if we could get more parking spaces, then we wouldn't need to build this warehouse like this necessarily, because you could use trucks and then you could have these like far tighter, which I don't, like I said, I don't think this is unreasonable as far as closeness goes. I don't know. It's a matter of opinion. Yeah, so like this spread outness, yeah. I don't know. I guess it's all, however, you know, it's a matter of opinion, I guess. Yeah, parking spaces could be a good thing. I mean, they have, this is the road cargo office, right? It's separate cargo spaces, so I don't know. Oh, let's you know what we can do? Yeah, you know what? Our power is fluctuating in a number of places, which could just be a local issue or it could be the sign of a bigger issue to come. So yeah, so that's another, trust me, like there's a fair amount of thought in, you know, we can't just build these steel mills without more power, I think. And even if that's not 100% true, this will give us the luxury of more power. And then I'll start worried about like the electrical distribution being better at that point. But yeah, we got, yeah, we are actually focusing on things a little bit. It just doesn't seem that way because of the way it's going. But yeah, I don't mind assigning these guys like I do. Yeah, so let's go over to here real quick. Make sure we're not having a people catastrophe. Yeah, we're having a catastrophe. All right, so let's see how many. We're having educational issues with not enough. Yeah. All right, so let's pause for a minute. Let's go up to here. Yeah, good. We're down to 67, so that should be pretty good. Let's come up to here. Oops. Real quick and dump some people into the gulag. Let's start here. Why not? So we got one educated person. Wonderful. Let's take most of them out of there, right? So that's 50 teachers we'll be able to put in here. And then, okay, so that's full. But we put 7 educated into there. You know what? I don't think I'm going to worry about those 7 educated. If they leave us, they leave us. So let's go back down to Revergrad. And how have you guys done on refilling? Yep, 60. That's probably enough right there. But let's just open up 2 of them. 50. Wonderful. So let's go back to here. So you're this building. Educated. 20 is really not enough, is it? All right, that's all right. Well, we'll leave this guy open. And we'll come back. It's going to be better than what we have, right? And then this guy can take 50. And that's this house over here. Okay, close that. Top them off with this. Good. So that'll get a lot more educated in there. And we'll just have to... Yeah, this guy should be good to go. So we'll just have this one building that hopefully will do... Yeah, we got another hour, so... Yeah, it's about 11 o'clock I'm going to end the stream, just to warn you guys. Then it'll be my lunchtime, more or less, anyway. Cool. Yeah, it would be nice to have separate parking. I wonder how it'll be different than road cargo. Yeah, yeah, the space of the buildings has never bothered me too much. Just thinking about that. All right. Oh, the other thing when it comes to these distributions is I'd like to see, I mean, some of them, I don't know how much construction we're going to need. Like, we kind of already have construction capabilities here, but so that's why this one's going to be a little bit different. But at the same time, I would like to see, I would like to have these new distributions kind of include construction office kind of capability too. So bring fuel and just sort of everything that's train worthy kind of comes into the region. But we'll see. All right, so how are we doing on farming ski, right? Oh, we don't have anything assigned here. Well, that's no good. Yeah, so you might as well start building the chemical plant first, right? And you know what? Oops, just to keep you busy. Build that pipe and build that pipe. That'll keep you. Okay, asphalt plant can't produce asphalt. Is there a particular reason why? You just don't have any workers, so that should be rectified pretty quickly. You are dividing 50-50, so I don't know why the concrete plant has so many more than the asphalt plant, but there they go. Not overly worried about that problem. All right, and then while we're down here, Brzezinsk North. Yeah, it's sort of taking you forever and a day to get this done. You don't have any warning messages. Is that because your asphalt plant's not doing too well? Okay, good. This is done. So we want to get Electrical Town 2 to come in here and build these overpasses. They're geared up with mixers and dumpers, and they should be pretty good at getting this done, I think. Sort of depends on what type I picked. And even if they're not, they're working on it. And if we see an error message, let's see, how are you guys doing? You're building stuff. That's right. I just gave you 2,700 things to do. So Tupafalu, yep, you're working on the grain storage down there. Yeah, well, you can start working on houses up here eventually, soonish. You don't have anything. Hegiodal is the one that I'm thinking of. That's right. You're working on these two roads. Brzezinsk North. Yeah, you're not doing so well on that one road I do have you working on. But I'm kind of leaning towards, let's switch this guy, not switch, but let's get this guy, building a couple of these kind of things just to keep him out of my hair for a little while. And then Hegiodal, which is, it's fine that you work on these two roads, but I also wouldn't mind if you stuck your head over here, started helping out, like say with this road. Yeah, this guy's already assigned that one. Yeah, you can start. I don't think they have the covered wagon they need, but they can, at least start contributing. Keep the trucks rolling. Yeah, Tupafalu, you're going to have your hands full in a minute. So you guys need to go on vacation if you got the time. Oh yeah, we get this firehouse built. And we really could kind of use a bus stop temporary over here, couldn't we? Yeah, a bus stop might not be the worst idea just for temporary over here. Let's just do that, even though we're not trying to do much designing. I don't consider popping in Yeah, I was hoping you might fit somewhere really out of the way. But close enough to the firehouse. Yeah, you know what, I want to put you this way so that you don't mess with my main road. And you're not real straight. Now you look nice and straight. Yeah, so for temporary, now what are we going to do? Yeah, I'm just going to attach that up. Right. Yeah, we can get rid of that little bit. And then let's go back to, yeah, why not you? No, we don't want to specify that. We want to add a construction job. There we go. That'll give you something to do. And a road that you can build fully. Yeah, this guy just got that. This guy we're going to want to stay on top of, getting the bridge built over into the new coal area. Yeah, you've got more than your share. Cool. You know what? We never really, we keep working on Tupafaloo. See, so this is what I mean. Like, I have these different crews, that are really more geared to doing certain jobs better. Like, this one's geared to construction more than the other, So when I assign these things, they have a crane that can do them, Where if I were to have assigned that to Hegiodal doesn't have any crane, so they're not necessarily the best one for building regular buildings and power lines. But, they have a paving setup where they have pavers and a couple of dumpers and, extra, like the buses. They're just more geared to being able to do general roads. Przink North is a little bit of an extreme, maybe, I think, right? Or it should be. See, we've got, one open haul, one covered haul. So these guys are, I'd call general road crew. They got 3 dumpers and a couple mixers. So they're pretty much ground floor kind of. I just closed them. We'll go over there and open them. They're a good ground floor crew. Which is the one? Oh, the electrical town 2. If you look, it's like I gathered up all the dumpers and mixers. So this is like dumper and mixer heavy, just with a paver, no roller. I don't know why I just have a paver in there. Something must have happened I'm forgetting about, but. I could even see myself having another different vehicle than that paver in there. But these guys are really heavy towards, you could call it like long distance paving, right? Or like something like building this. This might not be the best job for them, actually, now that I think about it. No, see, this is all concrete and asphalt, right? Building this bridge because it's a concrete bridge, so... you want this specific crew, especially because you're hauling stuff in from a fair distance. You don't really need much of a paver and roller and all that. You need the dumpers and the concrete guys to get the gravel and the asphalt and the concrete there, All right, I'm going to take like a 2-minute break again. Let me try to leave it in some place that's exciting. You know what? Before I take my little break, let's make sure... Missing bricks. Yeah, gosh darn it. Alright, so what we need to do... We've got an abundance of steel. Let's tell this guy to load steel. Just steel, please. All right, does that get them? Yeah, and of course, when we come back to unload, just unload anything, because now that you got bricks in you, you're really going to mess things up. Right, so there you go. So you went on your way because you got filled. Yeah, somebody went on their way. How about our prefab panels guy? Is that you? You know what? Let's pause this and hope for the best. I just want you to take prefab panels out of there. It's funny that there's a little delay in this. So where is our bricks guy? Yeah, unload bricks. Come on, get enough that we can start getting bricks in there. Otherwise, I gotta pull over a whole new truck. What are you going back and forth for empty? Like, what the heck is your deal? Oh, okay. Well, guess what? You may be... Yeah, so that didn't get enough out of there. So we're going to put you back on unload anything. But this guy... Yeah, I want you to load steel. And I want you to then go... to here, right, and unload anything. Yeah, steel or, well, yeah, that's I didn't want you to load or prefab panels, but hopefully we can get this cleared up. You should only unload the one thing. Cool. Get some bricks in there, please. I don't know what's going on. It's kind of a little bit crazy the way this guy is. What's your deal? Yeah, see, so you took... you know what the problem is? Did my steel guy... You know, now we got... You know what, you're going to stop what you're doing and just come over to this depot. Because... I think we're, yeah, we definitely have we have to get stuff out of here. You know, you're fine. I don't think you're causing any problems. So you, rail cargo station, yeah, load prefab panels. I'm just going to leave you on load until we can see some bricks coming in here. So by the way, it was a while ago that, you know, we started, there we go. Now we're getting a few bricks in once the trains start flowing again. So I'm going to leave you here just because I need to come back to you and straighten you out. And what are you doing? You are unload anything, but you're going to load up some steel. Yeah, so you're just on load for the minute. And I could probably actually send you back. So you shouldn't unload again, right? So let's have you unload anything. All right? Yeah, so that should be prefab panels coming back in. You should be... Where are you? You're the one I sent over to the depot, so I'm not going to worry about you for a minute. Bricks is there. What about this guy? This guy was our steel guy. Now, how are we doing on trains? So we can... Yeah, we can see about assigning a few more trains to go out. Okay, so those two are assigned. That's right, we were going to do this quite a while ago. Right? And then maybe you can come up here. Good. So now that things, once we get things flowing, all right, so you should be unloading at some point. And then you're our steel guy. So we need you to unload some wood, which is really kind of a problem that you loaded that wood to begin with. Wood is not a very popularly used item, right? So we might even want to send you... Is the wood thing full here? No, the wood thing's not full, so good. You know what? Get one over here. Come up here. Unload your wood. Stop waiting for a minute until you start moving. Now you can wait again. Yeah, good, because this isn't full, so the fact that this isn't full is a good thing. The first thing you need to do is get some money. So it's sort of, what I recommend is whatever your pleasure. This is for Off the Rails comment there. Take a look at the pricing and know that it costs you money to go export things, especially when you're first starting, right? It's not free to drive things to wherever the local depot is. So it sort of matters with how close you start, but you kind of want to pick out something that you can do that gives you at least, like, say, a couple $100 a ton. So, like, these prices are way higher than they were in the beginning, but I find that clothing is like a really good thing that's not too hard to do and gives you like real good money. But you can, if you're really close to a depot, like I started exporting bricks, which weren't really worth that much, but because I had coal, like I could just get bricks going. Like you need to just get money coming in. But the real thing you're shooting for, I think in the long run, the thing that's going to cost you the most that you need for all other, like, no matter how big your city is, if you're not doing construction, then clothing is a really good thing, right? Because that'll be your most expensive person need. So, so getting rid of the food and the clothing, the meat and the alcohol, like, if you build a farm, that's like kind of a really good start. But if you're talking about like, in the long run, what you're going to spend the most money on, is steel, because almost every building needs steel, and so that's like a secondary thing. Maybe it's not quite your question, but getting to steel production, because this price will start going up and up and up. Look, it's $4,000 for steel now. Like, these buildings and it starts out at like 300 or 400. So it's affordable when it's 300 or 400, but before you know it, it's going to be like 2,000, and you're just not going to be able to build. You could just bankrupt yourself at that point if you're not producing your own steel. And then even now, like everything, all these big plans, what's my holdup? It's, all right, we need another power plant, but that wouldn't have been that hard to build. We need to get these steel mills going, and I don't need to go. This is overkill, arguably. Certainly, we don't necessarily need 4 steel mills, but this is it. This is the holdup. Like, people are saying, oh, you need to start building things. It's like, yeah, but I haven't even planned out the reason I'm building things, which is my steel mills. But other than that, really anything that you want that's worth more, like, you could build gravel because it cuts down on your construction costs and then lets you build prefab panels and lets you build... it makes the roads, if you're going to build, especially if you're just doing gravel roads, free, and it cuts down your cost of the asphalt roads, even if you're still buying the bitumen. But I'd say depending on where you start, like if you have oil, you can just start selling the oil right away and make a little profit, especially if you're close to a depot. But certainly with getting a refinery up and going, now all of a sudden fuel's worth a good amount more, and asphalt. So to some ways, all of it, other than the really cheap stuff, like you're not going to sell coal ore, for example, right? You're not going to sell iron ore. So yeah, I think, if you take a look at my early videos, I wouldn't change my opinion too much about, I would do things differently, but I wouldn't necessarily change it too much from what I did in the beginning. Hope that helps. So here, let me finish straightening out this issue with this guy. Let me get rid of that stop. Unload steel more than anything else. Oh, you know what? I messed that up. Where are you going? Yeah, you know what? I need to... Yeah. Cancel that. Head back to here. Unload. Yeah, you don't need to go there. There. You can unload anything. So there we go. We got our steel guy back in action, right? So this little catastrophe seems to be past us now. Let's just make sure. Yeah, we got all 4 of them sitting there waiting to unload, I think, properly. And then we have this guy, which at some point we need to deal with the fact that he has prefab panels. But if you take a look at what I did, it's not a bad way to do it. Again, I think there's other ways you could, but you know, when I first came in here, I kind of built the whole thing too close to the border. I wish I had gone out with my center of town a little further this way. But I got this, because we had this coal, I built a power plant. So a power plant's a great way to export some money. I didn't mention that. But because you can get the power and coal going, and it's because we had it here, right? We could then start doing the bricks, which got us to be able to export some bricks, which over the years we've made a lot of money on bricks. And then not too long after that, I got into doing the farms, which let us get the alcohol and the food and the meat, you know, so we were saving a bunch of money on those. And then just because we were making the corn, I realized we could do the fabric with the corn, right? And like I said, clothing is actually a really, this was really the way we were making decent money at one point, was exporting this clothing. Now it's like an afterthought. But yeah, I don't think there's a wrong answer then, other than watch out for the rise in pricing. Because when you come here, you know, and then the other thing is a lot of people are real quick to want to get into the rails. And remember, if you're not making steel, those rails are going to stop you from building other industries. And there was a point where the steel price was rising fast enough compared to the rate that I was building things that I might have bankrupted myself. Yeah, we might have been bankrupt on this map if we didn't get this steel mill built when we did. Like I certainly would have ground our construction to the halt, you know. So yeah, definitely steel is definitely. Now, if you're going to start talking about electrical railroad tracks, don't even think about it until you're making your own electrical components, because that will bankrupt you. Like, you know, like the fact that we're not buying, like if you look at this pricing here, where is it? Electrical components, 22,000. You know, it's as expensive as the clothing practically, and it's just, you know, you just need a lot of them to do the electrical rail, and it ends up being a small fortune. There. So I hope that's a long-winded answer, but yeah, anything that'll bring you money in, anything that costs, you can get $200 or $500 a ton is probably well worth it. It sort of depends on where you start. Good. So these guys seem to be constructing again. How is everybody else? We want to keep an eye on what? This is our primary keep an eye on, because he's holding us up from getting in here. Yeah, so see, as we're getting on to 10:30, and like I said, I'm going to end this around 11. Like, I didn't plan out these rails because I do want to make it just a construction episode, and I'm kind of glad I didn't, because I don't think, it seems like our rail people are going to have stayed busy without even having to plan this out. And that way, even though the next episode for Monday morning will probably be mostly another construction episode, you know, kind of continuation of what we're doing now. In the beginning of that episode, I'll probably lay out some tracks a little bit, at least so that we can get in and out of here. And then we'll probably also start laying out some roads, because we don't have any. And that's going to be a little critical, at least for the construction purposes. So hopefully we'll be able to get to everything reasonably easily. And then I don't think we have... No, I didn't put any electricity up here either. And we don't have a firehouse up here. Now, so we don't have a lot of stuff. But that's all right. Well, at least we have it laid out, right? All right, so let's go through these guys yet again. I didn't take my break, which is... Yeah, food factory construction. So that's this guy down here. Yeah, are you missing concrete? Yeah, so... Okay, you know what? Can you get... Yeah, you can get to this building. Good. I'll give you something to do for 10 minutes. Project north. Yeah, let's see. Can we... Yeah, I don't want to give you... Oh, you know what? That means we have power, right? So how is... Look, we got a fireman. Not overly impressed. Or we got 5 firemen and we got a fire truck. So good. So we have some fire protection. And I'm kind of curious to see the area. Oh, can I not click on that? Let's see. How far... Oh, good. So where's our other firehouses? Like up here. So that's good. That we should have everything covered. See that? I don't know how well you guys can see, but we'll get covered most of what I wanted. I'm pretty sure this guy will cover all of this. Good. Okay, so you've got enough to do. We'll let you wind down on yours. Yeah, how are you doing over here? Yeah, so you're not terribly busy in some ways, are you? So what else can you... you're just still... Well, you should be just about done bringing gravel and stuff. Yeah, so we can give him another assignment, right? Yeah, we need to get this built. Yeah, let's get this and this built because we can't... Yeah, we got it. That's fine. I'm not worried about being super duper efficient. Tupperfaloo. Yeah, that's building the crossover bridge. You still have plenty. Yeah, and this is the one we may ramp these guys up depending on the timing of the construction of things. Good. Now how are we doing? Now that we've been focused on construction, look, this guy still just has his 600, right? And let's make sure this guy still... Nope, we only have one assigned. So we want another one. Okay, yep, because he got done this one. Now... Oh, okay, you stopped on the bridge there. That's a bugger. No. Oh, is that the one? Well, what is this one? Okay, is there a particular reason? Look at all this. We're getting out of balance here, too. Alright, so let's send... I want to be on the other, like this track, right? I don't want to be on this one, but... Yeah, why are we not... Okay, there we go. So now... There you go. Like, so I don't know what... There was a little bit of a hold up there. Maybe it was the not enough steel kind of problem. I don't know. All right, but anyway, glad we looked. Now, how are you guys doing? I haven't looked at you in quite some time. Well, you're still plugging away. Are you onto the bridges yet? No, you guys are just slower than sin. Well, you got the electrical track done, so I guess that's taking extra long, especially because you got to go such a distance. Good. Now, how are we doing on electrical components, which we were out of not too long? There we go. We got some electrical components in the house. Very good. A little bit less efficient because we have trucks going around, but... And then how are we doing on plastic, which is a big part of keeping that little train, the electrical components. Yeah, not a lot of chemicals, which was our problem before, but at least we're backed up on oil. And then how are we doing on our oil tanks? Full of fuel, more or less. How's our bitumen? Bitumen's doing okay. Full of fuel. Yeah, so bitumen's doing okay, so that's good. Yep, we're full of oil. So we need some more chemicals. So let's just check out that real quick. Yeah. Oh, we're not getting enough chemicals out of the building. Is it? Do we need another? Yeah, we're not getting them out of there quick enough. So the little guy is just not doing it quick enough. Not between the two, right? So let's go down to our depot here. And we can't get any, no American things that I want. Covered hall. Yeah, I mean, I just have a hard time not buying the big ones. So let's just, rather than mess with things too much for now, let's just go find this guy, right? And zoom in on him. There we go. We just like quadrupled our capability of moving chemicals out of there. So how is our chemical train doing? Yeah, we need more chemicals. Yeah, so the question is, do we just get rid of this guy? But, let's just see how it goes with the two of them. Because he only gets 0.3. Yeah, that's... I don't even know why they have a truck like that. It's... We'll see. It's a ridiculously small truck in some ways, isn't it? What is this guy going to hold? Yeah, so he's going to do like 5. Now, are we waiting? Yeah, I don't necessarily want you to wait. Okay. You know what? Is this guy empty? Well, let's wait till he's empty, and then I'm just going to get rid of him. And then I'm going to go take my little break. And if things fall apart, and again, just a minute or two. Yeah, let's let him empty out. Come on. Here you go. Come over to here. Just so you don't go on that route anymore. Sell it. Yep, I'd rather have the 11 grand. Good. Now this guy's at least he can empty the place out, right? So what I'll let you guys do is while I take the little break, let's just open each of these. And maybe you can see them on your screens, I hope. But you can... Here, can we get it to where you can see everything? No, not exactly, but you should be able to see if this is working or not, and then I'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, what did I do wrong? So where is our... And we got load and unload, right? So why is this just filling up that quickly? So what is it? Because we're... Why is he just sitting here? Like, you would think he would leave, or is it just because we're so steady producing chemicals that what we want to do is actually buy another truck, right? Yeah, let's just buy another truck. Because if he's going to sit there and be dumb about it, we're just going to buy another truck. And then we're going to zoom in on that truck. We're going to come back over to this truck and say, run the same route, except I want you to go to, delete that route. I just want you to go to number 2. I don't want you to go to number 2. Yeah, so that's fine. So now I don't know if they're going to tend to clog up the one. Like we did. One of the things I didn't do real well up here was the parking spaces. Like if I had to redesign our chemical area here, we would have redesigned it with more parking spaces. So since this guy is just going to sit there waiting constantly anyway, it's sort of, you know, even though I don't have him on wait, but the problem is, like I said, he's filling up our one parking space, or one of our 2, so that means we can't have anybody else waiting there to drop off stuff. Now, what are you doing? Yeah, you're dropping off corn. Okay, good. Good, so there we go. So now what is this guy? Yep, this is the other guy coming up to number 2. Now we got a little construction traffic jam, of course, when we're focused in on it. Come on. Of course you're taking forever. Good, we're almost done. How are we doing here? So the excavator's probably coming. I don't know where he's going. Whatever. He's going wherever he wants. Oh, these buses must be the construction buses or something else. Yeah, that excavator sure putting a hurt on things. There we go. So now we're getting... Yep, and he's just also just sitting there because we're running. And so I guess it's, you know, fine. I mean, we're producing enough, but asking him to stop is sort of part of the problem too, right? Good. So now we should, let's close this and close this. Yeah, we're getting a little traffic jam going here too. What are you doing? Where are you? Oh, you going out the back door? Oh no, you're a construction crew guy. Okay, I see. So you just went to get your mechanical components from there. And you just ran out of fuel, right? No. Oh, you're somebody else taking chemicals. Oh, you're going, okay, you're the guy taking chemicals up to here, even though we really don't need you anymore, do we? No, where are you going? You're going to oil chaw, coming back. Okay, yeah, so well, we really don't want 2 trains because we don't have a proper distribution coming. Like 2 trains will probably just get in each other's way a fair amount. So we'll see. We just have to up our chemical production and some of these problems. That's the other thing with this game is there's a big difference between not flowing, like if you're talking about flowing, like when you're not producing enough of something, and trucks don't keep moving or trains don't keep moving, then things tend to jam up in a different way than if you're producing plenty of stuff, right? And if you have storage yards to hold this extra stuff, and train storage where you could park 2 trains in there. And another thing to watch out for is as you're building, like, we really don't need this much wood. You know, I mean, there is certainly a minimalist approach to how much how much gravel or wood you would need to be brought over here. Good. So we'll have oil coming up to here when we're ready. And let's go back over to farming. Yeah, farming ski. And how are you doing? You have the chemical plant and the transfer station. Why don't we, just for the sake of calling that sort of done, assign you to those things. And you've got plenty. Yeah, and you were building that warehouse, which is kind of fine. Hegiodal. Yeah, you're busy. Yes, this is the one we want to keep an eye on. Let's jump over there because it's a little bit closer. So you want to keep an eye on him because he's the one. Oh, good. Look, a nice big stretch. Yeah, once he gets through, once we get back down off this, then we can start building multiple roads. And these are just gravel roads. I don't even know why I have this one here. We don't need that, I don't think. So these we're just planning on gravel roads because they're just like only going to really be for construction and the fire truck. So I have a couple roads right outside of the fire station that are paved, but once we get in there, these roads should go relatively quickly, right? Good. That's a big step. See, a lot of times that's the other thing about, you know, trying to focus on certain construction. It's like, well, we have this bottleneck here. And you say, well, you could build another road, but I don't really want another road after, you know, we could have just built a gravel road temporary, but that takes time too. And I don't know, just a little bit of patience. By the time we get that bridge built, we'll have 3/4. Well, heck, we already probably have close to 3/4 of this built, right? So in some ways, it's just about keeping people busy and then prioritizing what you can, right? Because eventually, when these guys get done all of this, we'll get them back to finishing up this area. And then we can start, you know, distributing food and stuff a little bit better to this area, maybe. If nothing else, yeah, we'll have to see. I don't know how we'll work out the trains. But we'll see. And speaking of trains, how are you guys doing? Okay, you seem to be moving. Yep. Yeah, so we're not all jammed up, but we don't have any bricks. Why don't you have bricks? Are we going over to get bricks, I hope? Yes, okay. Just bad timing. Caught you with your pants down kind of thing. And this guy's working fine. He seems to be. He's got 4 things. Are we to the bridges yet? Not quite. Or are we? Yeah, no, we are. Okay, good. So we're working on getting across this river. How much steel do we have? Not much. We're not exporting any steel as far as I know. Let's double check that fact. Economy and trade, export, power and crops. All of our money is coming from power and crops. Well, to the Soviet. But how much to the Western? Prefab panels, bricks, and crops. So, you know, when you talk about, like, you know, there's just very little that's actually keeping us afloat right now when you think about it. And I don't doubt that we could export more of certain stuff. I don't think we're being necessarily the most efficient we could be, right? You know, I'm going to close that guy. That guy was the one that's sitting over there. So, I mean, I think that there's some things, you know, that are probably, things that maybe we could export food a little bit better. But let's take a look. Yeah, crops, it's not like we don't have trucks there waiting, so there's probably, we could get this to be more efficient. But part of our problem is that we didn't really build it, very smart, in the sense of we don't have parking spaces next to it where we could, it'd be really nice to put a train near here. So how are we doing over here for, like this is the food train coming in here, and he's just waiting to be filled up. It's not like we're backed up on food, in other words, where maybe we could do better with that other food factory, but I think we're just eating a lot of the food that we're making. I don't know, me going on about something, the Fox, like, I don't think you missed anything that's going to ruin your Sunday. Let's put it that way, Just recently, just talking about, what we're exporting, and the fact that we really, as we ramp up, like this is going to be pretty steel intensive and mechanical component intensive. So, look, we're down to 500 steel here. So, I was just pointing out that with the level of construction we're doing, we're slowly running out of steel. Right? And we're not really even, in my opinion, doing that much construction. We're doing pretty well, but it's not like something that I would consider uber impressive or anything, levels of construction. Now, if we look at this is where this chart comes in, by the way. So if we look at this year, which is, we're in November, so that's a good picture. With our industry, we have consumed like half of what we make, right? Because we make an overall of 60 million. We've used 18 million of that for construction, and we've used 12 million towards citizens. Now, if you notice, our money has really kind of been, pretty stagnant over the last episode. So that's kind of reflected in this, where, what's this, 30 million? Like, we're literally break even when it comes to how much stuff we're making versus how much we're spending. Like, as an overall view, we are break even. What is that? Yeah, and this is showing you how many people are working on what. Now, part of the problem is that we have too many people, too many adults and unemployed. Where is the unemployed? See, we have 2,000 unemployed people out of 19,000. So if we can get a few more employed, that wouldn't hurt towards those numbers over on this. But yeah, for all of our gloriousness, we are just sort of, if you count construction as a normal cost, we're sort of break even, or we're $18 million ahead, because we're doing $18 million worth of construction each year, which is, not too shabby in a sense. But our money it's just, so in a sense, that's why I sit there and hesitate to build another, or buy more vehicles for this construction office, because it's like, well, at the end of the day, the short-term feeling is going to be good that we have another one, but eventually we'll just run out of steel. And somebody's going to be sitting around doing nothing at that point. And you can imagine, let's see, can we go into... Well, I don't think we can. Can we... Yeah, it doesn't... like there's... Oh, yeah, I can click on that. So let's see what... Yeah, like, here's what I was talking about. The value in our construction in the past... Oh, that was this month. Look at this year. So when we talk about 18 million in trade and economy, we've used $12 million in steel value based on its ruble value, right? So in other words, when you talk about like what you want to build next, like after you kind of get established with, a little bit of money coming in, if you plan on doing much building, 12 million in steel. And it's our slow point. Like, I could build faster if we had more steel. So that's like all of this in some ways, not just dedicated. I mean, we'll get power too, right? But, in some ways, all of that designing for the last 12 episodes or whatever the heck it's been. And the reason I kept plugging away at designing, even when people were saying, no, start building. Couplefold. I wanted to make sure things would fit, and as I envisioned them, but also, now we can really start building this. We got a good picture that, I think we have a good system for really upping our steel production beyond what we'll ever really need. We're going to be ridiculously wealthy in the near future just because of the steel. Just if we exported steel, we could be ridiculously wealthy. But there, I hope this, it's given me a time to talk about things that I haven't talked about in a while, or because I know not everybody watches every single episode, so I'm glad you guys can make it today. No, the uni hostel, good idea. Let's go pop over there. Earlier, Steve and I were looking at the uni hostel. Oh, we still got 73 people in there. Let's see. They are leaving. I don't know where they leave for. I don't think there's any. Yeah, look, some of these guys are educated, so I guess you could then go in. I guess they'll eventually leave on their own. Yeah, so see, we can come in here and take them out of there and plop them in. The problem we have is these buildings get all jammed up with people, right? But yeah, Energedisk Flats. Which one is this? Yeah, let's pause it for a second. That's this one right here. Let's see how the Gulag's doing. I did close the Gulag, but doesn't mean we can't. Let's just do another round of... Yeah, we're down to 51 people, so that means the good thing is I've learned when you get this guy empty, you can, even though it's not perfect, you can, dump all of these 75 people into here, and you don't have to go back and forth so much. So we can take the educated back out of the Gulag, just for the sake of it. All right, and then we'll close that, and then we could take the people out of the residence hall. Yeah, that's that's not a bad way of doing it. And then what we can do is well, heck, we could just take people out of this town, which is just bursting to the seams. Not that all the towns aren't bursting to the seams. And, well, see, if we just relocate... Yeah, you know what? I think it will just take out the people we want, right? Because it won't let you put the wrong ones in here. Yeah. So yeah, it would be cool. I don't think they're going to go back. It would be cool if they would come back to Energedisk, like when you grow up and go to college, and then you go back to your own hometown. Yeah. So let's yank a few more people out of some other town that's probably overflowing to the seams, right? So let's zoom down here like this. Yep, these are all. Wait a second. Oh, there you go. I wasn't showing the right thing. There you go. So that's filled up. And again, we took a little bit of pressure off of some other areas, and now we got 75. Oops, did the wrong thing. Yep, 75 highly educated people. So we shouldn't be having any more student problems over here. Oh, look at that. Yeah, see, we definitely had student problems. Well, at least we got the teachers maxed out now. And we can play time again. Yeah, see, this one's catching up. But why do we only have... Oh, because that's the one we just finished fixing. And how are we doing here? Yeah, we need to just get... We got a little backed up on our educational situation over here, but just we'll know I just need to pay more attention to that. Sometimes when I do the episodes, I don't, like, because I was paused so long, like the problem is you get like this time distortion kind of thing where, oh, I wasn't unpaused for all that long, but it was long enough that we started having educational issues. Plus, we've been running a good amount today. We're about to close down shop pretty soon, you know. The Fox, one of the things you did miss was my answer to that question that I just see here. You know what? Let me go back to Steve's first question. Can you view a panel that tells you what you have? Yes, storage per item. You can go to this one, resource. So there you go. There's all the stuff we have. So the biggest thing of value that we have, there's 11 million on mechanical components, $29 million in steel. Like I said, do you see that steel thing reoccurring? Now, some of that's because we don't have it laid out. We just have steel sitting there. It's not really a problem, but it is, you know, because we have it in reserve in a sense. This is like the list of your reserves to a certain degree. But if you found you weren't using it, there's no reason I would, you know, it would only be a temporary solution. In other words, if we were to say, come to one of these steel yards and then say, well, let's empty this out till halfway full, right? So like there's a lot of steel sitting in this steel yard, but even if we cut this down to 50%, it's only 150 tons of steel that we're going to move over there or something. It would be a pretty temporary solution. So as far as what's the best industry, what I would say is it depends on where you want to start on the map, and it depends on what's near you. If you, like, one of the reasons, one of the hardest places, if you want a real challenge, start right somewhere in this area right here. You're in the middle of the map, far away from everybody, from depots, so it's going to be really hard to get something over there. And there's just not much in the way of materials. If you were to start here, you almost have to start with agriculture or maybe a quarry. Like you could do gravel and stuff like that. And agriculture is going to be your better bet if you don't have any other resource near you. I mean, you can do power no matter where you're at. If you buy the coal, it is like a net profit to run a power plant. That's always kind of a good one. For the most part, you're always going to be able to start a farm of some sort. Clothing, if uses corn, you also have to buy your own chemicals in, but that can be a good one. But if you were to come to this list here, depending on how far away you are from a port, you're going to use fuel to drop the stuff off, right? And that could be as much as, like, say, $300 or $400 per trip. So if you don't have, like, let's say your truck holds 10 tons of something, if the thing isn't worth over $30 or 30 rubles or dollars a ton, whatever it is, it works out to exactly, it's just really not worth driving it very far. Now, if you're right next to, like, I've been selling bricks because, we've been selling bricks from here because it just, like, you can see the little, line of ants, like, look at all those bricks heading out. They're pretty much all just being exported because it's so close. That even though bricks aren't worth that much money, where is the money worth? They're there. But it's $300 a ton, or these are selling to the Americans. It's $482. So we're actually making some half decent money on bricks. But if you were in the middle of the map there, you're going to be hard pressed to make. By the way, these prices are way higher than they will be in the beginning of the map. These prices all go up dramatically throughout the thing, which I would say, watch out. At some point, the steel price is going to go up so high that you could bankrupt yourself. That's you're going to use enough steel for everything you want to construct that it's not that you'll necessarily go bankrupt, but you'll just slow down to the point that you've kind of lost. Like, if we take a look at the construction of, let's just say you didn't own a steel mill and now all of a sudden it's $2,000 per ton of steel. So I'll come in here and go down to steel mill. The steel mill is going to cost you 32 mechanical components, which are pretty expensive, but 241 tons of steel, right? Times $2,000 a ton is what? Like, is that 2 million? Here, I'm sorry. I'm going to do the math to make sure on the calculator, just to make sure I got that right. Times 2,000. 500,000. So it's going to be $500,000 worth of steel. So if you're not going to, at some point, if you're not going to be making your own steel, you have to have a really good, say, clothing industry or something at that point. Clothing is this was the first, quote, real money maker. I don't think we're making so much money off of it now because now that our population's grown, I don't think we're actually getting to export that much of it because we're using a lot of the clothes, which is good because it's saving you the money, right? So ultimately, getting self-sufficient is pretty key. So let's see, this year, what did we export? I think we're only exporting, yeah, see, look, no clothing has gone out. Let's go back over to Western. Oh, no, we did export. See, and this is another thing, like 25 tons of clothing, we made 700,000 exporting to the Soviet bloc. So, you know, really not bad money, but that's only an extra 25 tons, right? Like, so I don't know how much we actually used. There may be a way to figure that out. I guess we would probably find it over here. Citizens Facility, right? Yes, we only use, we are making a good amount of extra clothing, right? Oh wait, was this? No, this month. We were on this year. No, actually we're not. So in other words, because of our growth in population, we are now using up 80 tons of clothing a year. And we're pretty close to the end of the year, so you know, we're only making like 20% more clothing than we need at this point. Which is another thing that happens, by the way. If you look at some of these amounts, as you get more and more mouths to feed, it can give pretty substantial cost there. You know, $5 million a year in food is a good amount of food. So that's, you know, there's a certain benefit depending on how you're growing. Certainly getting your own food going is a pretty good thing. But look, we've used 2,500 tons of food for our people. We're just under 20,000. Yep, 19,000. Hey, Maynir. Maynir, you're just in time for me to head out. I've been at it for like about 3 hours. Sorry about that. I always feel bad because it seems like with every live stream, there's a friendly person that comes and says hello and it's like, okay, see you later, you know. And I hate to do that, but unfortunately, you might have to watch it, you know, in the thing. It should be up pretty shortly, and you know, to rewatch. I'm calling this episode 79 and a half. Yeah, here's the population statistics. Hopefully you can see them. You know, we're very happy. We've gotten down quite a bit. Like, you know, we rearranged and sent some people. I don't know if you guys have ever seen. I don't talk about it a whole lot because it's sort of a secretive thing, right? But we have the gulag up here, and because we just have way too many people. Matter of fact, you know what? I'm going to pause it as a sign of we're ending, so that I can not pay attention to what's going on. I'm going to have to do another hour or so construction episode for tomorrow morning. So you guys will have 4 hours worth of construction. But anyway, we send people up to the gulag to get rid of some of our not fully educated people so that we can keep our schools supplied with teachers. Otherwise, what happens is you have no way of, like, you know, this house is full of people, and if there's no educators here, we need to be able to dump off some people just so that we can move people around, right? Like, you need a little wiggle room in order to be able to move people. Like, you can't move them in until you can move some out. So once you're completely jammed, you're jammed. Can I please see at the end how the chain is made from plastic to tape recorders? And by tape recorders, do you mean electronics? Let me jump over to our electronics area. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know how long that's been going on. Probably since I went to break. I'm very sorry, guys. Here is our electrical components area. I forget when I actually paused the microphone. I put it on mute for some reason. Probably to get a drink or whatever. But anyhow, here's our stuff. So we have steel, mechanical components, electrical. All this stuff can be brought in by train. Here's where we're making electrical components. Steel, chemicals, and plastic. And then these need, the plastic electrical components. So what I was also saying, which I don't think you guys heard, was I plan on building a plastic, nothing real big, but plastic town up here with a little oil field next to it, which is one of its big things that we need for plastic. We need chemicals, by the way, we're bringing chemicals up this far anyway, right? So we should be able to move our plastic production up here. Not have to carry it, quite so far. This will also free up space to expand our refinery system over here. Yeah, sorry guys about the sound. I'm back again, I think, right? Good. And then well, we're plugging away at some roads over here, the Fox. I didn't mean to, this is, once this gets built and this gets built, we're going to need people to work these things. So this is sort of a, getting the population built up over here at least a little bit. I'd like to step into it as opposed to dive off the deep end, but we're just we just got a lot of roads to build, like this is not in some ways this is just not a minor product, but we're not even building all the roads we could, right? So there we go. Like we're getting the roads built, and then now that we have some of these roads built, here, let me assign this one. this one. Oh, you're still working on that one or no? Okay, well, whoever was working on that one, I now have 2 people assigned to that one, which won't hurt. Yeah, so the Tupaflu construction could now actually come in here. Yeah, let's start. We can't work on the firehouse till that road's built. I don't necessarily want to start. I mean, it's fine to start these, but I'd rather work on getting the food thing done if I had the choice. Can I reach this? No, not yet. Yeah, so we need to get these roads done here too. Yeah, see, I can't build anything else down here until I get more roads done. Yeah, so I think I need to take a break just because I need a break. And yeah, like, so what, guy? Project North, what are you doing? You're just taking forever and 3 days to finish this road, aren't you? Probably because you're yeah, so let's get him. Hopefully that'll speed him up a little bit, right? Get him working on those roads. Yeah, sometimes this game can be very frustrating when you're trying to do your best and, like, you hit these roadblocks, like these choke points in your construction, so to speak. Well, I'm not sure. No, I don't understand any, like, you know, when you go to build these things, you definitely want to keep in mind where you're at. But there's no, from what I understand, there's no speeding up the process other than making sure you have enough people and enough products, right? And the more you have to transport the products, the more it costs you. And trains are exponentially far more able to carry a lot of products to and from. So in other words, you need an awful lot of trucks to do what one train will do. So when you talk about trying to make this the most efficient, you know, we have trucks taking from here to the factories, but for the most part, you know, it's the big deal is getting it from, you know, the steel from all the way over here. You know, that's what's really taking the time, right? So, you know, and you would just be spending a ton of fuel. So the big thing is get things connected by rail. The problem is the rail costs you an awful lot. You know, and if you try to do rail from the very beginning, you might find that you just end up bankrupting yourself before you actually get much of your industry going, and then the prices go up for all these things that you need to import. You know, so there's this balance between trying to become self-sufficient and become sophisticated and efficient, if that makes sense. But yeah, other than that, it's I don't think there's any real secret to getting your production up. And I'm assuming the sound is now working again, right? Good. So guys, I'm going to, you know, take a break, eat some lunch, and then I need to get another episode recorded so that I can get it all processed for tomorrow morning. So the good news is, you know, for those people that don't like live streams and or the construction episodes, they can kind of skip a lot of this if they want, but I'm glad I could answer people's questions and, you know, just have some extra time to spend on the map and with you guys. And, you know, even though it doesn't seem like we made a lot of progress, I mean, hey, over 3 hours of building stuff, more or less, is good progress, right? We're really getting close to done on our bakery area, and we've made some really good progress on our, you know, it doesn't look completed, but, you know, there's a lot done here. You know, it's easy to underestimate how long these bridges take. You know, just getting past this bridge, you know, this guy got past the bridge a little bit ahead of this one. And look how much rail he's already laid, you know. quite a bit compared to that little section of bridge. So we're doing well. And like I said, another construction episode. And in that, I will do a little designing over here. Oh, not over there. The next episode, look forward to me connecting up these rails so that we can start getting our rail construction into this area. This will be our sort of our focus, just because it's the beginning of the coal flow and getting more power plants going. And then we'll bring the rail over to here. The coal comes in here, and I at least want to get the iron hooked up enough that we can, again, get into here. I got to design a bunch of roads over into here so we can actually build the buildings. Then eventually we'll have rail coming into here. And also over here, we can't forget, I left this just kind of stubbed over to here. We need to get people by rail into this area. So I plan on building some more houses, but I haven't even got these done, kind of thing. So I'm not sure, and I'm not saying that you are just asking it. I don't know. Like, if there's a way, like if we come into here, the livestock farm, I mean, this is saying that you should be able to get like 5 tons of livestock per day out of here. Now, you said meat. I know, not livestock. So, I mean, this is saying that if you put in 250 livestock, you would get 125 tons of meat. Right? So the thing that I'm not doing very well here is that, you would need to balance out the number of, like, this is only going to give you 5 tons of livestock per day, right? So you would theoretically need, 50 of these livestock farms to keep one meat production plant going? That's kind of crazy, isn't it? But that is the math. And then Lord knows how many, of the crop field you would need to get all that going. Yeah, power plants are going to, we're doing things. Yeah, exactly, Steve, by the way. I hope that answers your question, Manier. And I'm not saying that I might not have understood how you asked it exactly or something, but yeah, you can definitely improve things and balance out. Much like Factorio, I don't usually worry about it too much as long as I'm producing enough of what I need. I'm not one of those 100% efficiency kind of people. Like, I'm just not. Like, I know what you mean. Like, some people consider the beauty of something is when you have exactly 1.2 getting more out. And then, yeah, Steve, that's to answer your thought before I am going to get going here shortly. This is why we're building 2 power plants. And by the way, remember, depending on how all of this works out in the long run, I don't see why we couldn't put out a few more power plants down here if we decided to, right? So depending on how all of this balances out in the long run, the other thing I thought of doing is putting more power plants here just so that we can, because we're going to have some excess coal but whatever, yeah. Everything, that is another thing to keep in mind about the game. As you ramp things up, everything kind of has to go up. So as you get more people, you need more food, you need more, as you try to produce more steel, you need more iron, you need more electricity. And like you said, as you start using electrified tracks, you start using more electricity, and it's a lot of balancing, and that's why I'm happy that we're balanced when it comes to this sheet right here. We're pretty well even. We're not necessarily going up or down in money too much, which means we're maxing out how much construction we can do with the production that we're making. But I am 100% certain that we could do better with the constructions, and we will be working on that. This food plan is not very well done, but I think these are. And I think balancing with trains is a good way to do it. we're going to have this all supplied corn, 3 different rail yards to 6, things. If we need more food, we can, who knows, build more food farms right over here, right? And bring in more food. And I think trains, once you can afford them, become a much better way of balancing those things. But in any event, that's it. Before I lose my voice and can't do another episode later on, plus I am getting hungry for lunch. And it's been 200 minutes according to my timer. So that's enough for one day of live streaming, And like I said, I'm going to pick up more or less, we paused time the last few minutes. We're going to pick up right here in the next episode, which will be tomorrow morning, and expect to see me connect some of these railroad tracks and get the roads built. And I'm going to try to make it mostly a construction episode where we keep all these things going at the same time, right? So I think we're running pretty smoothly. One of the reasons to spend this much time is just to get, we're not having massive traffic jams or issues that I can see. We've got our school lack of education problem on the run. So there you go. Okay, guys. Well, Maynir, it's nice to meet you, and Off the Rails, welcome back again. I'm glad you made it to a second live stream, and same thing to Fox, nice to meet you. And, Maynir, sorry you didn't get to see more of it, but hopefully, I don't know, you can watch from the beginning or continue with the series. This is in the middle of the series. If you guys, I don't know if you've been watching it or not, but, as always, I hope you enjoyed it. I had fun. Felt a little bit like putting in work for me, but I'm glad I did it. And I'm glad we got to share the time in doing it. I think we made, at least some construction progress, even though it often doesn't feel like as much as you would want to have happen. So I will do a little more construction this afternoon and make episode 80. So good. Off the rail. I'm glad I could help. All right, well, I'm going to do what I normally do. I'm going to say goodbye, and then I'll just leave it paused so you guys can either say your final goodbyes or just, just for a minute or so. And then, I hope to, hope you can watch the next episodes, and I will be back for a regular live stream next weekend. But that'll be on the other map. I don't necessarily plan on doing this. This was just a special occurrence on a Sunday because I knew I had time to do it. But I also need to get out there and cut the grass and do some other things today. So, not to mention eating lunch. So, thanks, Steve. You too. Thanks for coming again today. And thanks for everybody for watching. And have a good day. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.